Hey everybody, welcome in. My name is Woe. Glad to have you all here tonight. Thrilled to be here playing Out of the Park Baseball 27. Once again, we started last night. Well, I started it a little bit before then, but we started playing together last night as the New York Mets. A little bit of a rough start that we had kind of before things went live, and then we had a much better continuation, as a matter of fact, as time went on. So hopefully things like that keep going. We did end rather late, and it is a good thing that we ended because I was starting to lose track of what was going on. I was poking around here before we went live, and Lim here, Ji-Sung Lim, was injured for like 3 weeks. He was injured for a month. He's been sitting on our roster for a week so far. I haven't moved anything on him, so I was clearly starting to slack a little bit towards the end. We're going to deal with that right away. I'm going to put him on the list. We've got Roberts Jr. is going to be coming back here, like probably a week and a half or so. He was our starting left fielder. He could be center field with what he's got here, but we've got Pesce out there in center field, who's slightly better. So we've got Pesce out there, and we've been running him in left field. He has not been gangbusters, so we can decide if we want him to come back or if we want to keep going with what we're going. I guess Lim was the one that we were starting over here. Who is the other? Taylor would be our other one. Let's see. Left field, it would be, yeah, and Taylor's not doing great either. We don't really have anybody else, at least in the organization. I mean, Benj is statistically, or is from a rating standpoint, ready, but I think we're just stunting his development a little by putting him in. If he's hitting 132, and I mean, on base is not even 20%. So I just think he needs a little bit more time in AAA, which means I guess it's Tyrone Taylor. It'd be nice to get somebody else. We are going to have to decide. Where are we here? I always forget. It's May. Trade deadline is the 31st of July. The draft is in here on the 11th of July. So I was looking, is there an All-Star game? Isn't the All-Star game supposed to be July? I would assume the All-Star game, I guess, should be here. Is there no All-Star game? At any rate, the 11th is the first-year player draft. The trade deadline is July 31st, though, and we've got to make some decisions with some of our people. I think that Simeon is a target to go with his $26 million over the next, 3 years? 2 after this one. But he's a target to be sent out. Of course, Beatty and Vientos, both, I think, are good targets to potentially move on. Bo Bichette is someone we're really going to have to think about, because 15 million is fine, but 50 million a year is a rather steep price tag to have, at least over next year and probably over the next 2 years. But he has so far been basically our only offense, so I kind of hate to get rid of him now, but as we get closer, we're going to have to start to consider some things. So if we go here, our left fielder, I guess, is Taylor. We'll put Tyrone Taylor in. I guess let's put you in over here, Taylor. And we just don't have a backup for the next week. That doesn't seem wise. I mean, we don't get a day off for still a week and a half. So we do need to bring somebody up. Maybe we bring Morabito up. Doesn't really have the, I guess that's his infield. He doesn't really have the arm for right field, but more or less he could sub in any spot in the outfield, so he's not the worst. And his bats could potentially be okay. He has been 242 down in the minor leagues. That's not an inserviceable. That's something we can certainly use. I think actually Ronnie can play in the outfield as well, can't he? We've had him up here, and he wasn't doing too bad when he was up here. You know what? Let's bring Ronnie Mauricio up, and he'll be our utility outfielder just for a week until we can get Roberts back. And yeah, we are just we're just trying to scrape by kind of on this first year. I don't know what the Mets have been up to. Do we put Roberts in? I mean, Roberts, do we put Mauricio in as the starter here against the lefties instead of Beatty? I guess it's only a week. He does hit switch. That would be what, left field. So, I mean, he could easily play left field, I think. Yeah, let's do it. We'll put Mauricio in right there. And then Taylor, I guess, can still back up in center field. Hasn't been an issue yet because we did just have a day off kind of recently, although we had that doubleheader. But I think that our guys are going to start getting tired, and we are going to want to have a backup coming in. But Roberts will hopefully be back soon. We've also got, I mean, Lim will be back within a month, so there's another one. And Weaver's out for the year. Nunez, I guess, will be back this year. I don't know if that matters or not. He's probably... We do need relievers. I don't know if he's the guy that's going to save our bullpen. Tyler McGill is due to come back, who's, I guess, a little bit better. He's not terrific. He did a 1.4 WAR last year for the actual Mets. 136 whip for a reliever is a little bit high. We got a couple that might be coming back, but we're not counting on our injured reserve to save us this year. That much is for sure. We checked the waiver wire before we ended stream last time, and there's nobody there at the moment that we're looking for, but there is certainly plenty of room for us to upgrade both in our bullpen or our pitching rotation just in general and in our lineup. So we're going to keep checking that throughout the year. And I don't think there's anything else for us to really go over. We've been on a bit of a winning tear. We've won 8 of our last 10 games. Peterson's inching into our top performance list in ERA. Peralta with strikeouts. So actually for our pitching, well, our pitching might be the stronger part. Yeah, our ERA is second. Strikeouts were first. So defensively, we're not terrible. It's our offense. 27th in the majors in runs. And there were several instances last night where we had the bases loaded, no outs, and got zero people across the plate. So that is something we're going to have to work on. Let's get into it with the Nats and see what transpires. See what we can make happen here. We got Cade Cavilli's on the mound. 432 whip, or 432 ERA, 1-something whip, and we're playing in Washington. Clearly, I'm still a little bit frazzled from last night. Francisco Lindor comes up, lines out to shortstop. One easy out for the Mets, brings up Bo Bichette, 3.18 ERA, and he has been great for us this year, although he's been a little quiet lately. He was hitting around 330 this time last week, though it has come down a bit recently, but still a very respectable over 300. And then Beatty's going to fly out the center, so the Mets go down in order. We're heading to the bottom of the first. Kodai Senga to the plate. I don't remember what he did for us last game. He didn't do too bad. A 63 was his scorecard. Struck out 5, walked 1, gave up 1 earned in 5 innings. Not very many quality starts, really, from any of our starters. We should maybe take a pass. If we get to the end of the month, we'll take a pass and look at the stats on some of our people. So far, 2 months in, I usually kind of go through and take a pass at the end of the month before the next month starts and just kind of see if there's anything that needs to go. Look at our minor leagues, see if there are any promotions or demotions that need. So we'll try and get there tonight. If we need to sim a couple, then we certainly will. And then I'll play us ahead a little bit so we can do the draft and hopefully the player deadline. We might have to sim a little bit next time as well so we can get to the trade deadline and try and move ourselves forward. I don't want it to take us, a month to play season 1, but we'll see what we can make happen. Senga here in the first, meanwhile, happening while I've been off somewhere else. Senga got himself in a little bit of trouble, but he got out of it. So we're headed to the second. It is still 0-0. Juan Soto to the plate, 2.89 ERA against Cade Cavalli. 2-0 pitch. And he gets a hold of this one. That is enough. That's the 12th home run for Juan Soto in this season. 360 feet does give the Mets a 1-0 lead. I think that we're up on the Nats in the standings. We're a couple of games ahead of them. So this is a very, for it being early, it's a pretty important series for us. We definitely need to win the series. I don't know that we necessarily need to sweep, but if we can win the majority of games in this 4-game series, that would certainly help us. As Nolan Arenado grounds out to second, brings up Tyrone Taylor. He represents the final out for the Mets here in this top of the second. A full count payoff pitch, and he swings at a wide fastball for strike 3. So Mets get one on the Soto home run. We are headed to the bottom of the inning. Drew Millas to the plate, hitting .333, catcher for the Washington Nationals. And he gets a hold of this one, but it is going to die out there. That's the first out as Brett Baty makes the play. Kodai Senga to the plate. Not to the plate, he's pitching. Jacob Young is to the plate, and he swings at a high slider, strike 3. So that brings up Nazim Nunez, a .245 hitter for the Washington Nationals. 1-2 pitch. And this will be a ground ball to Lindor, so a good easy 1-2-3 inning for Kodai Senga in the second. That has been a little bit of a pattern for us, or at least it was last night. Our pitchers were getting into some trouble in the first, and then they kind of calmed down, and the next 3 or 4 innings they just went in order. So we'll see if Senga can keep that tradition going. As Christian Pache grounds to shortstop, there's one down for the Mets. Simeon, hitting at the bottom of the order, comes in, looks at a 2-2 pitch. 277 on the air, he gets a hold of that one. It is not going to get out as it drops at the track, but that is an extra base hit with 1 out in the third. Is he going to make it to third? That is an easy triple for Marcus. Oh! And Marcus Simeon surprising everybody. He gets in with an inside the park home run. That doesn't happen every day. That was his first home run of the season, and it was inside the park. Give it up for Marcus Simeon. I was just about to say that he's been very quiet since coming back from the injured list, but not that time. Lindor strikes out. That brings up Bo Bichette. Represents the final out for the Mets here in the third. And he's going to draw a walk to bring up Brett Baty. Hitting .222. He's got 1 on 2 outs. Baty lines this one, but the second baseman is there to make a good defensive play. That'll be it for the Mets in the third, but they do get one. It's 2-0 Mets as we go to the bottom of the inning. Wymer strikes out on a fork ball, the ghost fork of Kodai Senga. He's got it working here tonight. Brings up the top of the order again, CJ Abrams to the plate, and he's gonna fly this one into center field. That will be 2 down. Brings up James Wood. Always dangerous James Wood to the plate. Looks at a 1-0 pitch. He gets a hold of this one. It is not going to get out, but it is over Baty's head, and he's going to get into third. That is a triple for James Wood. Not quite as good as Simeon's hit, but I'm sure the Nats will take it. And then a good defensive play by Bo Bichette gets him out of trouble. So Senga once again gets a runner in scoring position, but gets out without giving up a run. We're headed to the fourth with Juan Soto leading off and getting a single. 1 on for the Mets, still no outs. Francisco Alvarez to the plate. He's been steady for us this year. He hasn't been great as he grounds into a double play here, hitting around .250, and it's been right around .250 all year. I really would like him to have a few more RBIs, though, with who he's hitting behind. I guess you could argue that Soto's hitting them all in before Alvarez gets to the plate, but didn't get anything that time. Brings up Nolan Arenado. We're going to have to make a decision on him at some point as he strikes out on a called fastball, strike 3. We could theoretically, and it's probably it would be wise to move Bo Bichette back to third and put somebody else in at first. Very easy to find a first baseman. We just need somebody with a good bat. But Nolan Arenado hitting at 180. We like having his defense there, but is that much defense at third base? Is that providing us very much value? And a very good argument could be made that no, it is not. Chaparro gets a leadoff double. Brings up Marvis, who grounds out to second, but it does advance the run. So the Nationals have got a runner 90 feet from home now with Millis to the plate. Catcher Millis hitting .327. He's got 8 RBIs on the year. Looks at an 0-1 pitch, and that's going to get through into center field. So a run comes in, and the tying run is now on first. Senga having a little bit of trouble here in the fourth. Jacob Young to the plate. .306 on the season. He's had a pretty good year so far. He gets just a little bit too much underneath this one, and Taylor is able to field that one no problem. So 2 down, 1 on. Nazim Nunez to the plate. First pitch here, and the runner takes off. He is going to get in there for a steal. Tying run is now in scoring position for Nazim Nunez, who lines it to center field. Pache, though, is able to make the play. Good defensive center fielder out there. He's hitting over 200, and his offensive stats are terrible. So if you are Tyrone Taylor here or Nolan Arenado, you've really got to step it up a little bit. Pache should not be a better offensive weapon than you guys. Absolutely. Speaking of, he comes to the plate. Taylor is on second, and he's got a little bit of speed. See if Pache can get him home. He's going to try and bunt him to third, but that didn't work. A couple pitches later, and he lines this one into center field. That is not deep enough to move Taylor, so he is still standing on second. Simeon with the infield inside the park home run. His last at bat comes up this time. Taylor's going to take off to third and get in there easily. So Simeon now just needs a deep ball to bring the run home, and he is not going to get it. Ground ball to short. And that's an easy second out for the Nationals. Can the Mets get a run home from third? Brings up Francisco Lindor. He's up to 250. He's been down around 200 all year, so he's definitely been hot lately, but still having a bit of an off season. He grounds this one to the shortstop, and he's not going to be able to run it out. So Mets do not get a run in, but they do still have the lead as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Weimer to the plate, and he's going to swing at that slider. Strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts for Kodai Senga so far through 4 1/3 innings. He's thrown 65 pitches. Not terrible, but needs to be a little more efficient maybe if he's going to go 6. He hasn't gone 6 for us very often. And there is a 1-out double he gives up to Abrams, so the tying run once again standing on second with James Wood to the plate. Wood looks at a 1-2 pitch. He's going to ground out to first, but that does move the tying run over to third for Dalen Leal to the plate. 0-1 pitch, lines this one. Good play for Simeon. Makes the catch. So the Mets still a 1-0 lead. Bo Bichette to the plate. Looks at a 1-2 pitch, and he's going to ground this one. Lots of soft contact for the Mets here lately. Cade has been putting some good movement on the ball. He has thrown 102 pitches, so you would expect that his last batter is going to be coming up soon. But he's still out there to Beatty as Beatty lines this into center and gets a 1-out single. And that'll be it. And that is it for Covelli. Trevor Williams coming in. This is his first appearance this year. Got good stamina. Not very good stuff. He's going to strike out Juan Soto anyways. Seems like it was pretty good stuff to me. Brings up Francisco Alvarez, looks at a 1-2 pitch, and he strikes out. So, as if to make a fool of me, comes in Trevor Rogers, strikes out both batters that he faces. And we are headed to the bottom of the sixth. Kodai Senga, 75 pitches thrown, 3 strikeouts, has not given up a walk yet. He does the 2-2 to Chaparro, and that's going to be an easy first out. Brings up Matt Mervis to the plate. He's hitless so far. He swings at the first pitch, and Taylor is able to range over and get it. 2 down for Senga here in the sixth. 1-2 pitch to Millis. Going to be a ground ball to second base, and an easy 4-3 to get the out. So, good quality start from Kodai Senga here against the Nationals. He probably can go the 7th. That 6th was a very efficient inning, and that'll be good because our bullpen has been spotty. So it is nice to have our starters go as long as they can go. As Nato grounds out to third, brings out Tyrone Taylor, and he is going to drop this into left field. That should be a 1-out extra base hit as he circles and gets on the second. So the Mets, again, a runner in scoring position. Let's see if they can get him home this time. Christian Pache to the plate. He is hitting .254 in the season, but he's only got 4 RBIs. So he's clearly not hitting well with runners in scoring position. Full count pitch here. He's going to fly this one into left, and he does not get the job done. Brings up Marcus Semien. His stats are a little low because he missed a month. Let's see if he can get the run in this time. 0-2 pitch. He swings at a slider very far inside. Bad pitch to swing on there. Mets cannot even get the runner off second. Our offensive woes continue, but still up 2-1. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Nick Martini to the plate. He's pinch hitting, a 185 hitter on the season. Kodai Singh is still on the mound. He sends the payoff pitch. So it'll be a soft hit ground ball to first and 1 down. And that's going to do it for Senga. I thought that he might try and go the 7th. I wonder if he got injured. I didn't see anything, but he didn't. I think that he could have gone a little bit longer, but they hooked him after 1 out in the 7th. Brings up AJ Minter to try and hang on to this lead, throwing to Nazim Nunez. The 0-1 pitch gets into left field, so that'll be a 1-out double for the Nationals here in the 7th. As Taylor gets the ball in, keeps him at second. Weimer here has a runner in scoring position, has the tying run in scoring position. Going to pop this one up to first base. That'll be the 2nd out, so Minter is 1 out away from getting out of this without any damage. CJ Abrams, back to the top of the order, is up at the plate. He looks at a 1-2 pitch and swings at a beautiful changeup, strike 3. Mets clinging to a 1-run lead as we go to the 8th, back to the top of the order for New York. Trevor Williams, I was saying, he doesn't have very good stuff. He's not going to strike out many. He struck out 3 of the 5 batters he's faced. Now, we are a bad offense, but still, not a bad outing for Trevor Rogers here as Francisco Lindor flies out to right field. 1 down for the Mets here in the 8th. Brings up Bo Bichette. He still hitting over 300, but it's getting closer and closer with every at-bat. He is going to drop this one into center field, though. So that'll be a 1-out single. I was looking to see if he has a hit streak going, because every now and then Bichette has been sneaking in with a couple games. So far, not yet. Beatty flies this one into center. That'll be 2 down for the Mets. Brings up Juan Soto, strikeout victim, his last at-bat. He is... Oh, don't go back. Bichette's safe. He was safe. I thought they had gotten him out there. All right. So get another chance for Juan Soto here. And he's going to swing at a slider, strike 3. Mets leave another runner stranded. Couldn't even get him off first this time. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. James Wood to the plate, designated hitter for the Nationals. He swings at that fastball, strike 3. AJ Minter struck out 2 of his 3 that he's seen. And he's been doing pretty good here late in this one. It's going to be a ground ball to second for the 2nd out for the Nationals. And that brings up Andre Shapiro, a 151 hitter for the Nationals. He lines this one into left field, so the Nats have a 1-out single here and the chance to do some damage. Devin Williams is going to take over for AJ Minter to face Matt Mervis. Deals the 1-1 pitch. That's a ground ball to second. Williams gets out of this one, no trouble. We're headed to the 9th inning, just trying to cling on to a 1-run lead. 0-2 pitch to Alvarez. He swings at a sinker, strike 3. That's 1 down for the Mets. Trevor Williams, 3 innings pitched so far. He has been pretty good for the Nationals here tonight as Nato strikes out looking. And then Tyrone Taylor to the plate, last out for the Mets this game. He's going to do a little comebacker to the mound. Williams goes 3 2/3. Doesn't give up a run. I don't think he gave up a hit. That was a pretty good outing for him. Brooks Raley is in for the Mets to get the close. 1.67 ERA so far this year. He's got, it'll tell us when we come in, but he's got 5 saves. This is his 6th. I don't know if I remembered how many opportunities he's had, but I don't know that he's blown a save yet as Millis flies out to center field. That'll be 1. Harry Ford, Henry's uncle, comes to the plate. 266 hitter. He's pinch hitting in this situation. Looks at an 0-2 pitch, and he is going to line it to center field. Pache is not going to be able to make the play on that one. So the tying run for the Nationals is on first base. Nazim Nunez to the plate once again. He has one hit so far tonight. Needs another one here. Looks at the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to second, and everyone is going to be safe. Semien cannot field that ball cleanly, and it's not an error. They're going to rule it a hit, but the tying run is now in scoring position for Joey Weimer. Full count pitch here, and he is going to pop this one up to Nolan. That should be an easy routine play, and it is. There's the second out here in the ninth, and that's going to do it for Raley. They don't trust him to get this final out. Was he tired? He must have been tired. I feel like they're hooking our pitchers a little bit early here in this game. Maybe I need to look at a setting somewhere. At any rate, Brazoban is going to come in and try and get this final out against CJ Abrams. Top of the order for the Nationals. 234 hitter, 13 RBIs on the season. Looks at the payoff pitch, and that's going to miss outside. It took 11 pitches to walk him. That was a very good at-bat for Abrams. And now the bases are loaded. James Wood to the plate. It is looking very shaky for the Mets. They are in the bottom of the ninth, the final out, just trying to close the door on this Nationals team here in game one of the series. James Wood to the plate. Looks at a 1-1 pitch, and that's a wild pitch that will bring the tying run home. Is that a wild or a pass ball? That's a wild pitch from our pitchers. So Mets cannot hang on to the 1-0 lead, or the 1-run lead. Now we're just trying to get into extra innings. Wood is still at the plate, and they're just going to walk him now that there's an open base. Brings up Dalen Leal, 264 hitters, 17 RBIs on the season. I don't know if you'd rather have him over Wood. He's been having a pretty good year. He does ground this one to first, so the walk pays off, and the Mets get out of the ninth. We're headed to extra innings, unfortunately. They could not hang on to their 1-run lead. Free runner, Tyrone Taylor, standing on second. Andre Granillo is the new pitcher. He's got an 8.31 ERA, so he's had a little bit of trouble. It is a small sample size, though, so that may not be indicative as the sacrifice bunt gets down, and Pache is going to be thrown out at first, but it moves the go-ahead run over to third, brings up Marcus Semien to the plate. Hitting 280, looks at the 1-2 pitch, flies it into center. That should be deep enough to get Taylor home, so the Mets manufacture a run here in the bottom of the 10th and take the lead. Once again, they're going to have a chance to hang on in the bottom of the inning to get the win as Francisco Lindor strikes out. Brazoban is still in, the one that blew the save last inning. See if he can do a little better here in this one. So 19 pitches so far here tonight. Matt Mervis comes to the plate. In fairness to Brazoban, he blew the lead against the top of the Nationals order. That is definitely the hardest part to get out, as one could imagine. And Millis flies out to center field. Runner is trying to tag, and it's like he is going to get in safe. So the tying run now at 90 feet from home. That's going to be it for Brazoban as Alex Lange comes to the plate. He is the waiver wire pickup that we got just a little 2 or 3 days ago. He hasn't been with us very long. This is only maybe his second appearance for us. He's got to get one out. He's got the tying run on third. And he's got Luis Garcia Jr. pinch hitting, a 300 hitter on the season. So not an easy target, not an easy order for him here. But he gets him with the curveball. Beautiful curveball on the corner, and the Mets hang on to squeak by in this one. Game one against the Nationals here. We're 3 games above 500 now. Things are starting to swing in our favor a little bit. Senga, a good quality start out of him. 3 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. 95 pitches thrown. I think he could have done a little bit more, but probably better safe than sorry getting him out of there. Not a bad outing for Senga. I think his last one was about the same. So hopefully he's getting a little bit of consistency in his game. Also some pretty good outings here. Raley He's our closer technically. You'd really like to see better from him, but he's still a 195 ERA, so he's been very consistent so far. Just had a little bit of trouble here tonight and gave up that run. Brazoban officially gets the blown save, but Rayleigh is really the culprit there. Still, the Metros on a 3-game win streak. We won 4, dropped 1, and we've won 3 again. Let's see if we can keep this going. We need to get a legitimate win streak here. Take a quick peek real fast to see who our leaders are. We got Bichette and Soto from the WAR perspective, as you would expect, our 2 best players for sure. But Lindor's a little bit low. I'd like to see him closer to 2, just like these guys. Alvarez, Beatty. Beatty's a surprise. I guess his average has been coming up a little bit. You know, there is a very good argument to be made. I think that he can play first. He hasn't played first, ever. But he's got what it takes to play first. In fact, he's got a little bit more than he needs. You know, he could play third as well with his arm. Not as good defensively at third as Nato would be, but he is a much better bat than Nolan Arenado, and a bat is what we need. At the moment, he's playing in the outfield for us, so we're not going to be able to do that. But once Garcia comes back, that will definitely be something we're really going to have to look at. Torrens, from as a 0.4 WAR, I mean, everyone else is very, very marginally better than their replacement. And then Nolan and Vientos down here are our 2 worst. Yeah, I mean, we knew he wasn't going to be a massive offense weapon, but 179 is hard to justify to keep him in the lineup, I gotta tell you. If we look at Torrens over here, his catcher's ERA is a 3.43. He's thrown out 1 and 4 base runners, and that's, I guess, about as good as it's gonna get. He's been pretty good defensively, and I think he is our better defensive catcher. It's not great, but he is better at any rate than Francisco Alvarez, who, for his part, a 3.62 catcher's ERA. He's thrown out a third of base runners, so actually got a weaker arm, but he's been doing a better job throwing them out. Not quite as much of a range here. Their catcher's ERA is about the same, so fairly even results for Alvarez and Torrens. OPS, Soto and Brady, as you would expect. Down at the bottom, Ernie Clement. He was a waiver wire pickup for us as well, and he's been doing all right. But the culprits that you would absolutely expect on this side. Make sure I don't have any splits turned on right now. Peterson, actually, 5 quality starts in 9 games. He's been our best, at least most consistent pitcher in the starting rotation. And then McLean is the rookie. You would expect him to be the worst. 1 and 3 for Senga and Manaya. Manaya's only started 3 games, so he's got a very small sample size. Peralta's our ace. His 4 quality starts is definitely disappointing, but I think his last couple have been quality. In fact, he may have maybe his last 3 might have been good quality starts. So we'll keep an eye on him and see how it works. See if he keeps going up. Kimbrel has really not been great. 4 shutdowns and 3 meltdowns here. That is not what you like to see. Brazoban is a 2 and 2. I'd really like to see more like a Devin Williams with his 9 and 2. Rayleigh's an 8 and 3. Devin's been doing a lot better lately. I wonder if we throw him back into the saving role. Let's move you back into the closer. I'm going to make you the setup, Rayleigh, but your backup job will be closer because you're still pretty good. Just because we know that Williams, at least lately, has been doing a lot better. He's having a little bit of trouble there early on, but does have a 100% save rating right here. So it's been doing fairly well in the save position. Let's look at stats number 1 here real quick. We can see just briefly the WAR Kodai Senga, I mean, Peralta we would expect, but Senga's kind of a surprise at his 1.7. Peterson at a 1.3. We've got at the bottom Lange, who we just picked up, and then Hudson, who we're really trying to get back down. We called him up from the minors because we needed an arm. And if we can get him sent back down again, that would be all right. The rest of our bullpen has been average, fine. I mean, nothing to write home about. It's been kind of okay on a FIP percent, on a FIP stats. Hudson, Lange, both. Hudson really bad. I mean, he's given up just 1 home run, but in 4 innings. He's probably walking quite a bit. Yeah. Hudson having some trouble out here. The rest are, I guess, okay-ish. You don't ever like it to be above 100, but at least it's not at 172. On the other side, Brooks Raley has been on point. So is, interestingly, Senga. I guess Senga and Peralta, they don't walk. And they don't give up home runs. So their FIP is going to be pretty good. Their defense must be letting them down a little bit here. ERA, yeah. Their Sierra and their FIP lower. So for both of them, their defense letting them down a little bit. We got a decent defense, but it's definitely could be upgraded. That is for sure. All right, what did we get over here? The All-Star voting has begun. Yes, we can vote for the All-Stars. Don't care about the American League. We'll just vote for the National League to expedite things a little bit. And for pitchers, I mean, Peterson's been our best. I'm going to vote for Peterson over here. What are we looking for? 3 starting pitchers that we got to vote for. I'm going to vote for Senga. We could not be completely Nepo, but I'm going to vote for Peralta because there are pitchers and we want our guys to get on the All-Star game, although I think we're probably going to have to pay some of them to be a bonus. Some of these guys have a clause. It's not going to be Brazoban. He is definitely not having an All-Star year. There's the Rockies pitcher. I think, though, that Raley and Williams, at least for us, are 2 good choices. And for our third votes, who have we faced that has been really good against us? There's Edwin Diaz, always good. I hate to vote for a Dodger, though. We didn't vote for Paul Skeens in the starting pitcher, but I'm sure he's going to get enough votes from everybody else. He should make it. We don't have to feel bad that we didn't vote for the obvious choice at starting pitcher. We're going to go for Estrada just because he's got a pretty low whip. He's got a 0.9 WAR. That'll be our last one. And I don't mind voting for the Padres. Alvarez, is he the best? I mean, we're going to vote for him because he's ours, but Rio Muto should probably be getting it, right? We don't actually have a first baseman because we've been rotating him out through here. Could vote for the Rockies here, but I think Freeman is the clear best first baseman so far. We're just voting for the All-Stars. We're not voting for a Golden Glove or anything, but even still. Bichette's been playing a lot at second, and he's actually been doing pretty well over there at second. I think that he deserves the votes. Third is, yeah, we're obviously going to vote for Nolan Arenado. A -3 WAR, but there is no way I'm not voting for him. Lindor definitely is probably the best shortstop, at least this year. It's going to change soon. Luis Roberts Jr. has not played very much out there in left field. We've had a couple of people go through, but I think we'll throw a little nod to Tibbers here and vote for the Phillies. Out in center field, Pache has been doing really well for us. A batting average up over 250 with his ratings. I think that a 250 batting average at this point in the season is fantastic. We're going to reward that. In right field, Tyrone Taylor. I mean, kind of not really. He has not been a good right fielder for us, but he hasn't been terrible. We've been rotating right fielders in and out as well. Jackson Churio is, I thought, more of a center fielder, but I guess he's playing right field here. I think he might, well, you know what? If we can vote for the Rockies, they deserve some love. We're going to vote for the Rockies right there. And then the designated hitter, again, Soto's doing it for us, but he didn't start there. So we've been rotating a couple through here. We're going to go with Moniak. We're going to vote for the Rockies for 2 of them. He's not doing too bad with the 259. Clearly not the best, but I'm not voting for Bryce Harper for religious reasons. And there is going to be our All-Star vote. We'll see how the fans vote. Here we go. Game 2 against the Washington Nationals. We've got Brad Lord on the mound. Got almost a 4 ERA, so he's been having a little bit of trouble. But Peterson is starting for us. He's been our most consistent. That bodes well. Let's see if he can get another quality start out here as Francisco Lindor leads us off here in Game 2 against the Nationals. Full count pitch, and he draws a good 9-pitch walk. That's exactly how we want to start this game. They've seen all of the pitchers' pitches now, so we should have some success here. Bichette, proving me wrong immediately, grounds into a ground out, a sacrifice hit, as it were, as he moves Lindor over to second. At least it was a productive out. Brings up Brett Baty, runner in scoring position. Another full count, and he draws the walk again. 9 pitches again, so we're making him throw a couple here in the first. That is good news. They used quite a few pitches last night, so their bullpen's a little bit rough. If we can get this guy out in the second or third inning, then that'll give us a pretty good advantage, not just tonight, but tomorrow, as Soto sends this one up the middle. Is Lindor going to get home on this one? He's headed for home and easily scores from second. Mets once again take the lead in the first, and they get the run home, which has been a big problem for them all year. Alvarez to the plate, 1 down, still 2 runners on, still 1 in scoring position, another full count pitch, and another walk. Mets have them loaded, and they've only got 1 hit so far this game. Brings up Nolan Arenado. We are hoping that he gets this bat working. It's not going to happen here. In fact, not even deep enough to score the run. So that was a very unproductive out. Brings up Tyrone Taylor. He's got the bases loaded still. 2-11 hitter. 2 outs. Looks at a 4-pitch walk, and the Mets get another one home. That is 4 walks given up for Brad Lord here in the first. He may not even make it out of the first, the way he's pitching right now. Pache to the plate. He's only got 4 RBIs on the season. See if he can add to that total here. This one is going to drop in left field, and that should bring 2 runs home as Taylor goes first to third. Mets are still at it here in the first. Simeon will be the 9th batter to come up in this inning. Mets have scored 4. 2 outs, runners on the corners. 1-2 pitch. Simeon strikes out on that sinker. But Mets do give Peterson a nice lead before he ever takes the mound. 0-1 pitch to CJ Adams for the Washington Nationals. He's going to fly out to center field. Very important now that David Peterson just get 1, 2, 3. And don't give the Nationals a little bit of hope. If we let them score right after we score, then this game doesn't look nearly as bad for them, as Garcia is able to get on. So there's a 1-out base runner here for the Nationals in the first inning. Dalen Leal to the plate at a full count, and he's going to drop this one into right field. Garcia's not going to make it to third, but there are back-to-back singles here for the Nationals, and they've got something cooking. James Wood, a softly hit comebacker to the pitcher. He goes to second and does get the out. So Nationals now down 2 outs, but they do have 2 runners on, and Harry Ford to the plate. Catcher Harry Ford hitting .271 on the season against David Peterson. A 1-2 pitch. That's going to get through past Nolan Arenado. And the Nationals immediately get 1 run back at least. Still a 3-run lead for the Mets as Jose Tena comes to the plate. Peterson deals the 0-2 pitch. And that gets him out of this first inning, but he does give 1 up. And we are headed to the second. 4-1, a 3-run lead for the Mets. Lindor leading off once again, just like he did last inning, and he's going to ground out, just like, I think he flew out last inning, but result is the same. Brings up Bo Bichette, or maybe he walked in the first inning, as a matter of fact. Now I'm starting to remember, because everyone walked in that first inning. 55 pitches thrown for Brad Lord here already in the second. He does have 2 outs as he faces down Brad Beatty here. First pitch swinging. Beatty's going to dump this one into center field, kind of a right center location, and that's a 2-out base runner for the Mets. Brings up Juan Solo. He's hitting .298. Got a home run last night, his 12th of the season. If he can get one more here tonight, he is not going to get it on that pitch. Ground ball to third, and that is an easy 5-3 to end this inning. We are headed to the bottom. Jacob Young is going to lead us off against David Peterson, still on the mound pitching. The 1-2 pitch grounds to Nolan Arenado, and that is 1 down. Brings up Chaparro. Looks at a 1-0 pitch, and he's going to get this one into center field. That's a 1-out single again for the Nationals. So Peterson having a hard time getting out of innings without traffic, as this one is going to hit the gap out there, and that just might score the runner from first. I don't know how fast he is, but he's actually going to stop at third. So 2 in scoring position now for David Peterson, and he is not been as consistent tonight as he has been recently. Back to the top of the order for the Nationals. J.J. Abrams to the plate. See if Peterson can get this out. A good soft hit ball back to the pitcher. That will be the second out. So he's a little bit closer to getting out of this one without major damage. Luis Garcia Jr. to the plate. He is hitting .300 on the season with 19 RBIs. Looks at a 1-0 pitch here, and that's going to be a wild pitch that does bring another run in. So Mets' 4-run lead has now been cut to 2. Still has a runner on third. Still Garcia at the plate as he looks at a 2-2 pitch and lines this into right field. That will get down, and Nationals get a run closer. Peterson having a lot of trouble here tonight. We were thinking, boy, we might be able to abuse this Nationals pitcher, and here we are, hoping that our pitcher doesn't get pulled in the second. Our bullpen's looking better than theirs, at least, but he needs this out desperately, as Lil watches a slider for ball 4. Still 2 runners on. James Woods to the plate. Another full count pitch, and he finally gets that third out with the curveball, but Nationals are able to get 2 runs back. It is a 1-run game. We head to the third. First pitch, Francisco Alvarez flies this one into center field, and that should be an easy routine play. Brings up Nato, looks at the 0-1. He's going to get this into the gap finally. And that's a rare hit for Nolan Arenado. Not only that, it's a double for Nato. So Taylor comes to the plate. It's got a runner scoring position. It is getting more and more important that the Mets are able to get this run home, as Tyrone Taylor looks at a first pitch, swinging, pops it straight up to first base, and 2 down for New York. Brings up Christian Pache. He looks at the 2-2 pitch and bites on that one. Ground ball to the shortstop. Mets cannot get the run home. We're headed to the bottom of the inning, still up 4-3. Harry Ford to the plate, 277 hitter on the season. He swings at a 2-1, and that's going to get down in front of Beatty out there in left. Or is that Taylor playing left? Beatty's playing right out there. Still a leadoff hit for the Phillies. Brings up Jose Tena. First pitch, and they get him in a rundown anyways. We'll see if they get him out. Don't let him get into second. They did tag him. Good pickoff move for Peterson. Erases that leadoff runner. There is now 1 down for Tena. And Peterson puts the runner right back on base with a walk. So Jacob Young coming to the plate. 1 out, 1 on. Looks at an 0-1 pitch. He's trying to bunt him to second and bunts into a double play. Brilliant defense for the New York Mets out there. Get a sacrifice bunt turned into a double play. That gets him out of trouble. We're headed to the fourth. Brad Lord still on the mound. 73 pitches thrown so far. We're only in the 4th inning. We were hoping to get him out about an inning ago, but after that first inning, he is calmed down very well, and the Mets may not have had... We've had at least 1 base runner because Nato doubled last inning, but I think that's been about it since the first. Lindor flies this one into right field. Well, we've got 4 hits. I know we had 2 in the first inning, so we must have gotten 2 since then. But not many, as Bichette grounds out. His average now looking at 314. Just moving down and down. Andre Chaparro comes to the plate to lead off here in the bottom of the 4th. And he is going to line this one to shortstop. Good defensive play for Francisco Lindor. Brings up Joey Weimer. Looks at an 0-1, and this is going to get down. Peterson unable to get a 1-2-3 inning so far through 4 in this one. He has had traffic all night long. Another line to shortstop and a good heads-up play for Francisco Lindor. Does not get him out, but a close play. This will be a ground ball to Nato. Easy. When you've got a Gold Glove at third, you don't have to worry about those plays. We're headed to the 5th. That's still clinging to a 1-run lead as Brett Baty is going to lead us off here in the top of the 5th. He's 1 for 1. This one is going to be tracked down in right field. Brings up Juan Soto. Looks at a first pitch swing in here and grounds it to second. So there's 2 down for the Mets. Brad Lord, 91 pitches thrown, but he's still in as he faces down Francisco Alvarez. Hasn't gotten a hit in a little while. This one is going to find the gap out there. So the Mets have a 2-out double from their catcher, Francisco Alvarez. He was due for one. He was hitting 240. That got him back up around 250, where he's been all year. Brings up Nolan Arenado. He did double his last at-bat. This time, he's going to pop it up to the shortstop. And the Mets, again, do not get the run in. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th. Still Peterson on the mound, 82 pitches thrown. As he gets Lil to strike out. He gets Peterson. He gets Lil to strike out on that curveball that was pretty far outside, actually. Got him to chase a bad pitch. Full count to James Wood. And that one's going to miss his, I want to say his 4th walk of the day, but they switched pitchers before I could see his stats. Jonah Tong is coming in. A 4.82 ERA on the season with 28 innings pitched. He has struck out 37, though, and only walked 8. So a pretty good ratio right there. He's looking at Harry Ford to the plate. Harry Ford to the plate. And Ford lines this one out of the park in left field. That gives the Washington Nationals the 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 1st. Tong immediately blows this save. There's going to be a ground ball by Tena to first. That's the 2nd out. Brings up Young. And Young grounds this one to shortstop. So Tong gives up a home run instantly and then gets the next 2 batters at least. We're headed to the 6th. Cannot believe Brad Lord is still in after that first inning, but he has calmed down in a big way. And the Mets have looked very poor offensively since that first inning. Really, we weren't very good in that first inning either. He just walked 4 batters, and that got us a couple of runs. But he haven't done much since then. He hasn't walked anybody, actually, since that first. He's really got it together. That's going to do it for him, though, with 1 out in the 6th. Trevor Gott's going to come in now that there is 1 on, and Simeon to the plate. Gott has a 10-12 ERA through 5 innings. So, at least in his first couple of outings, he's had some trouble. He gets Simeon to fly out early. 1 pitch, 1 out there. Brings back the top of the order for the Mets. Francisco Lindor trailing now. They need to get this run in somehow just to tie the game back up. We haven't been trailing in a while. This is the first time we're playing from behind in at least a couple of games as Lindor flies out to right field. We are headed now to the bottom of the 6th. Tong still on the mound. Chaparro is going to pop this one up to Francisco Lindor. There's 1 down. Brings up Joey Weimer. 231 on the year. It looks at an 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball. Once again, our Gold Glover, Nolan Arenado, is able to make the play easily. 2 down for the Nationals. C.J. Abrams back to the top of the order. He looks at a full count pitch. And that one's going to miss. Missed a little bit high on that fastball. So 2 outs, and there is a runner aboard at the top of the order again for the Nationals. They've had runners on in every inning at least. and that makes it hard to keep him from scoring. He does get Garcia to strike out on that changeup, so it's going to do it for the 6th inning. We're heading to the 7th. It is still a one-run game, only now the Nationals are in the lead as Bichette watches a called strike 3 sinker right there. Brings up Brett Baty, looks at a 0-2 pitch, and he strikes out. Gott has been throwing bullets out there. He's only got 2 strikeouts, I guess, but it's the first 2 batters this inning. And Soto's going to fight off the strikeout. Gets this one down into center field. That's another 2-out single for the Mets. That has been the story of our game. We get 2 outs, a base runner, and then immediately get the last out. Soto breaks for second, and he's going to get in there. When full count pitch to Alvarez. Can he get the run home? No, he cannot. No, he can. I thought the center fielder was going to track that one down. It gets over his head, and Alvarez, with an RBI triple, ties this one up in the 7th. Good hitting from our catcher. Brings up Andre Granillo. Is going to come in. 675 ERA. Also 5 innings pitched. A lot of the Nationals pitchers have not done much work so far this year. Brings up Nolan Arenado for the Mets with a run. The go-ahead run is 90 feet from home. 0-2 pitch. He fights this one into center field. That's going to do it for us, though. We definitely probably have to get Nolan Arenado's bat out of our order, our lineup. It's just too much of a liability. At a certain point, we can't afford to let him keep going. This one's popped into left field, and that's going to be one down. James Wood to the plate, looks at a 2-2 pitch. Score is tied now. Pops this one up to first, and that is the 2nd out. Bichette makes the play. Brings up Harry Ford. He's been on fire lately, hitting .288 on the season. He looks at a 1-0 pitch and lines this one into center. Pache is able to make a play on it, though, and for the first time, the Mets get an easy 1-2-3 inning. We're headed to the 8th. Tyrone Taylor leading off. Bottom of the order for the Mets coming up here. He looks at a 1-2 pitch and pops this one into first base. So 1 easy out for the Mets. Ronnie Mauricio is going to pinch hit here for Christian Pache. 286 through some limited at-bats. He has not had much action here, but had success in the limited playtime he's had, and he is going to get a pinch hit knock here with 1 out in the 8th. Puts a base runner on for Marcus Semien. Had an inside the park home run last night. He is hitless tonight. First pitch, Ronnie takes off for second, and he gets in there easily. So Semien now has a runner in scoring position. 1 pitch later, and he sends us to third. Good defensive play out there by Tena, gets the out. So we're back to the top of the order. Francisco Lindor still has a runner in scoring position. Only 16 RBIs on the season. Can he get this one home? No, he cannot, as he watches a called strike 3 right on the outside edge. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. Craig Kimbrel is coming in for the Mets. 2.30 ERA through 15 innings. He has struck out 19, walked 6. Not a bad stat line. Not our best relief pitcher, but he hasn't been bad as the first batter here. It lines out to right field. Was that Tena? So Mervis is going to pinch hit here, hitting .265 on the season, and he draws the walk. Nationals have a runner here in the bottom of the 8th as Chaparro flies out to center field, brings up Joey Weimer, hitting .229 on the year. Bottom of the order, we've got to get this guy out. We can't let the last 3 runners score a run here. One thing to let the top of the order get some damage, but you can't let the bottom of the order do it, as Kimbrel does strike him out looking with that fastball. And we are headed to the 9th. Score is still tied. Top of the order for both teams. It's going to be Bo Bichette leading off here for the Mets. Looks at a full count pitch. And flies this into center. That's going to be 1 down for the Mets here early. Brett Baty comes to the plate. First pitch swinging here. And he lines this one into center, but it will drop. And the Mets again have a 1-out base runner. They have not had success getting these guys home, but Maybe they can get Beatty in here in the ninth. Juan Soto comes to the plate. First pitch, Brett Beatty takes off for second and gets in there. So Soto now has the go-ahead run in scoring position. Soto's hitting .299 on the year with 32 RBIs. He is who we want up in this situation, and the Nationals do not want to face him. They're just going to give him the base and bring up Francisco Alvarez. He had an RBI his last at-bat. 254 in the season, 13 RBIs all year. Looks at a 2-0 pitch and grounds this to third. Going to be a sacrifice hit that moves the runners over. Does not get anybody home. It's time to raise the boards. I wasn't even. We just can't take this anymore. Just enjoy the song for a minute. How you doing, Ergo Doctor? For a minute there, I forgot I was even streaming. I was just talking to myself. Wasn't even paying attention over my shoulder. How you doing on this Sunday? We are here in the bottom of the... I guess it's the top of the ninth still. But dire straits trying to beat the Washington Nationals. But the hero of the Mets, Nolan Arenado, is going to get it done here. I can feel it. 3-0 pitch, or 3-1 pitch. That one's going to drop and score, I think, 2. Soto's headed home, and he makes it. Nolan Arenado comes up clutch here in the ninth inning. And here I thought I was going to bench him. Watching little Z while her parents are away. Oh, I gotcha. For a minute, I thought you were watching like a movie. But I feel ya. Tyrone Taylor's going to strike out looking on that fastball, but the Mets do get 2, and we are headed to the bottom of the ninth with a slim 2-run lead, 7-5. Top of the order for the Nationals. CJ Abrams comes in. He is hitless tonight. Grounds this one to Lindor. That's 1 down for Devin Williams and the Mets here in the bottom of the ninth. Brings up Luis Garcia, 2 for 4 on the night, 301 on the season. He looks at a full count and grounds this one to Nato. If he can't make the play, nobody can. So the runner is going to be safe. That brings the tying run to the plate with 1 out. 3-1 pitch, and Devin Williams walks him. James Wood comes up. It's getting tight for the Mets. Remember, last night we blew the lead in the bottom of the ninth and had to go to extras. We're hoping to avoid that fate here tonight. James Wood looks at an 1-0 pitch and pops this one up. Simeon should be able to make the play. In fact, it's an infield fly on that one with the 2 runners. So that's an easy out. Brings up Harry Ford, representing the final out for the Nationals here in the ninth inning. Looks at an 0-2 pitch and gets him swinging on the fastball. 3 good fastballs right in the corner. Brings him down, and Williams is going to get the save. Mets with their 5th win in a row. Very, very rough outing for David Peterson. The next one is probably going to be good, though. He has been in a very big pattern. 70 and then not good, 70 and then not good, 70. He was okay, 70 and then not good. So his next outing, we can expect to be gangbusters. Tong, also a little bit rough, came in, immediately gave up the home run. But Kimbrel pitched an inning clean. No hits, did give up a walk. And then Devin Williams, a walk and a hit. You don't want to have 2 base runners with your closer. But he was good enough to get the save. So one more and we're going to win the series against the Washington Nationals. Just like that, the Mets have moved into second in their division. We're 5.5 games out behind the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Phillies have been looking pretty good this year, so we can expect that to continue. But this has been a very important 4-game win streak that we've managed to put together here. Looking a lot better. Let's take a quick gander at the waiver wire and see if anybody has shown up out here that we might have interest in. I don't think Merriweather is the one. He's not having a very good season out here, albeit through just 6 innings. But 540, His whip is 150, 3 home runs. He's given up what? 2 home runs in 6 innings? Yeah. Bit of a rough start for Merriweather. I don't think we're going to go for him. There is a young kid here, Munoz, who just, if they had any potential here, we might pick him up. He's got no work ethic, and yeah, he's given up a bunch of home runs. In every major league team that he's played on, he's given up just massive home runs per game. So, not going to go for him. There's Trevor Gott, who we just faced recently. 33 years old out here. He looks actually like he's not too bad. 945, though, he has really been giving up some runs. 3 in 2/3 of an innings pitched there against Baltimore. And he had the blown save against us. Was that last night or 2 nights ago? So, I don't think we're picking anyone up off the waiver wire now, but we are going to keep an eye on that because that's where we're hoping to find some good talent for us. Robert's still a week away from coming back. I think once he does, we still plan on putting Arenado on the bench. It pains me to do it, but it is the right move. Sean Manaea is going to be starting for the Mets here in Game 3 against the Nationals. Foster Griffin is the Nats pitcher. He is a 3.20 ERA so far through 56 innings. Has struck out 42 and only walked 15. That's not too bad. As he deals the full count to Lindor, and that one misses outside. Mets have got the leadoff batter on for the 3rd game in a row. I think all 3 games here against the Nationals we've managed. We've scored in the first inning in the first 2. See if we can do that again here tonight as Lindor goes 1st to 3rd on that single by Bo Bichette. Brings up Juan Soto to the plate with 2 runners on and nobody out. Looks at a full count pitch, and that one misses inside by a lot. So they're now full for Mark Vientos. He is starting at 3rd base tonight for Nolan Arenado. 217 on the year. Got some pretty good ratings, but he hasn't been able to translate it to the field so far. Here's his chance for a couple RBIs. 1-2 pitch, and he flies this one into left field. That should be enough to score. Maybe not. Nope, that was not deep enough to get Lindor in. So, 1 down for the Mets. Brings up Ernie Clement, who is starting for Marcus Semien tonight. He is 241 so far with 3 RBIs. In limited playtime, he's been having limited success. He grounds into a double play. Mets load the bases in the first and get no runs across the plate. Our offensive woes continue. Manaea is going to be on the mound for the New York Mets. See it's CJ Abrams to ground out. He's got 379 ERA, 37 strikeouts so far on the season. He only started 3 games before now. His last one against the Yankees, he gave up 3 home runs, 2 of them to Aaron Judge, and he gives up 1 to Luis Garcia here in the first. So the Mets, right away, fall down 1-0 as Wood lines this one into right field. And that will be a 1-out double. Manaea having some trouble here early. Faces Chaparro. He's going to get him to ground out, so that'll be the 2nd out here in the first. He's 1 out away from limiting the damage here as Harry Ford comes to the plate. 284 hitter on the season, has a runner in scoring position. A wild pitch is going to move that runner 90 feet closer to home. So Ford now has the a little bit of insurance. Standing on 3rd, looks at a full count pitch and swings at a changeup strike 3. So Manaea does get out of it without too much damage, but the Nationals do strike first and go up 1-0. Pache is going to ground to the shortstop, but a miscue means he's safe at first. Going to bring up Luis Torrens, the runner on first. It looks like he tries to bunt the runner over, but things go awry, and that's going to be 1 down. Brings up Ronnie Mauricio. Playing in left field here today, giving Tyrone Taylor a break. As Pache gets into 2nd, so the tying run is now in scoring position, and the Mets really hoping to try and get that runner home eventually. That's been our problem all year. Ronnie is going to get it done this time as Pache scores from 2nd. So the game is now tied up, 1 apiece. Good hitting from our AAA kind of revolving door player. He's been up a few times for us this year, and we've sent him back down, and he's probably going to go back down again when Roberts comes back. But if he keeps playing this way, maybe we can't afford to send him back down. Maybe we'll keep him. At any rate, Tyrone Taylor's to the plate, looks at a first pitch, and Ronnie takes off to second. That's going to put him in scoring position for Tyrone Taylor. I guess Ronnie's actually in for Brett Beatty tonight, not Taylor. Taylor's playing in right field. Got it full now. He's going to ground out to third. Does not get the runner advanced. 2 down. Runner still in scoring position. Not a fast runner. We don't really have any fast runners on this roster. And as we go through the season and into the offseason, getting some speed out there, I think, is going to be really good for us. It'll certainly help us to get those runners in from first and second that we've been having so much trouble doing, as Minaya walks Tena to lead off here in the second. That is Dalen Leal flying out to a shortstop, brings up Joey Wymer. And he's going to swing at a wide slider. So that's 2 down for Minaya. Still 1 on. Nazim Nunez to the plate. Looks at an 0-2 pitch. And he pops this one into right field. Easy play for Taylor. Minaya lets the leadoff runner on, but limits that damage as well. We are headed to the third inning. Still 1-all. Tied. Bichette swings on that one, but he doesn't hit it very far. Straight up to second base. 1 down for the Mets here in the third. Juan Soto comes to the plate, and he's going to pop this one into left field. 2 down, 2 easy outs for Foster Griffin in the third inning. Brings up Mark Vientos, full count pitch here. And he grounds out to second. So a good 1-2-3 inning for the Nationals. We're headed to the bottom of the third. Score is still tied. Minaya pitching to C.J. Abrams, and this will be a ground ball to second. 1 down for the Mets. Garcia, first pitch swinging, pops this one up to second. It looks like he hits it far, but it's just a little pop-up. It comes off the bat hot, and Clement can't play it. That's going to be surprisingly a hit, and not an error, but a base runner for the Nationals here in the bottom of the third, and the runner still second. So go-ahead run now for James Wood is in scoring position. He swings at that fastball, strike 3. Minaya now has 2 outs here in the third. 1 away from preventing the run from coming in. Full pitch to Chaparro, and he swings at that sinker. Minaya strikes out 2 big batters. They're headed into the fourth. Score is still tied, 1-all. Clement, who let that one drop last inning, is going to get a leadoff base hit here in the fourth. And the Mets trying to get something going, trying to get the lead back here, as Pache is able to get the bunt down this time. Brings up Torrens with a runner in scoring position, looks at a 1-1 pitch, and a little grounder to second will advance the runner onto third. Brings up Ronnie Mauricio, got the RBI on his last at-bat. It's another chance here tonight. He's 333 on the season with the go-ahead run 90 feet from home. 1-2 pitch, and he swings at that curveball, strike 3. So, Nets couldn't get the run in. We are headed to the bottom of the inning. The score still tied, 1-all. Harry Ford to the plate. And that one, that fastball just catches the corner there. Freezes Harry Ford. So 1 down for the Nationals here in the bottom of the fourth. But Tena is going to send this one into the gap in right center. The 1-out double puts the go-ahead in scoring position for Dalen Lill. Looks at a 3-1 pitch and pops this one to third. Vientos should be able to play that one, and he does. That was a very bad pitch to swing on. That would have been ball 4, but he bailed Minaya out there. And then Wymer comes in and doubles into left center. That brings in the go-ahead. So Minaya has given up 2 runs here so far in 4 innings and having a very rough time as a starter for us. Nazim Nunez to the plate, looks at a 1-2 pitch and sends this one into left. But Mauricio can make the play on that one. So 1 comes in the fourth. Nationals retake the lead. Last time the Mets were able to get it back in the next half inning. Let's see if we can repeat that again as Tyrone Taylor, a 202 hitter on the season, is leading us off. Looks at a 0-2 pitch and swings at a slider, strike 3, 1 down for the Mets. Back to the top of the order, Francisco Lindor. He's feeling a little bit tired. He strikes out looking on that one. Brings up Bo Bichette. Looks at another payoff pitch. This one misses inside, so Mets are going to have a base runner here in the fourth. Juan Soto to the plate, hitting .297 on the year. Got 32 RBIs and 12 home runs. Just slightly better. Just the least little bit better than Bo Bichette so far. See if he can get this run in. And he gets a hold of one, but it's going to die in right field. Mets cannot get anything in the fifth. We're headed to the bottom. Score still 2-1 Nationals. Naya does get Abrams to strike out on that slider. 1 down. He's got 6 strikeouts so far in this game. Only 1 walk. Has given up 1 home run. But otherwise, not doing terrible. It's kind of how he was against the Yankees. He wasn't terrible. He just was that much too bad to get the win. It does get a 1-2-3 inning here in the fifth. We're headed to the sixth. A new pitcher for the Nationals, Luis Perales, who has pitched 5 innings for him so far, struck out 7, has not given up an earned run yet. Going to try and keep this this 1-run lead, 2-1 score intact. He does get Vientos to ground out, brings up Clement. He got to knock his last at-bats. He's going to fly out to left on this one. Brings up Christian Pache. He looks at a 1-2 pitch. Down a sacrifice bunt his last time. He's going to fly out to right field this time. Mets go down in order, and we are headed to the bottom of the sixth. Manaea still on the mound. He is looking for another quality start. Maybe he can get 3 outs here. Does get Chaparro to swing at the third pitch here, and he is a leadoff double. Brings up Harry Ford to the plate. Looks at 1-2 pitch, and this is a little comebacker to the mound. The catcher takes off down the line, and he is safe at first. So Manaea has got runners on the corners, no outs, with Jose Tena to the plate, a .275 hitter on the year. Deals the 1-2 pitch and gets him to swing at that fastball. So a huge strikeout here in the bottom of the sixth. Double play is in order. A ground ball from Dalen Leal will get Manaea out of this. He deals the 2-2 pitch. Runner took off for second and then goes back. He does get the strikeout. However, number 9 for Manaea in this game brings up Joey Weimer, .231 hitter on the season. Manaea is trying to keep that runner at third from getting across the plate. First pitch. Snap throw back to first. He's going to be safe. Few pitches later, and Weimer swings at a sinker, strike 3. So the Nationals get a runner on third with no outs and cannot get him home. It is easy to see why both of these teams, I guess not the Mets anymore, but there was a time when we were both sitting in last place. So we can definitely see why with the offensive performances here tonight, as Luis Torrens grounds this one to short, and that'll be an easy 1 down for the Mets here in the 7th. Mauricio gets hit by a pitch. That'll give the Mets a free base runner. 1 on for Brett Baty, pinch hitting in here for Tyrone Taylor. He's .241 on the season. He does have 5 homers and 6 RBIs. Looks at a full count here, and he's going to get hit. That is 2 base runners given up for free to the Mets. The tying run is now on second. Not very speedy, Ronnie Mauricio, but he can score from second. Payoff pitch to Lindor. He swings, and that's going to be a ground out to first. That pitch was a strike, so I guess it was a good decision to swing there. Brings up Bo Bichette. He has got 2 runners in scoring position. He is him and Soto anyways, but he is just about our leader in RBIs. New pitcher Paxton Schultz, 466 RBIs on the season, only 18 strikeouts in 19 innings. So let's see if Bo Bichette can get one of these runs in. 1-1 pitch, and he cannot, as he pops this one right up to the catcher. That'll be the 3rd out for the Mets here in the 7th inning stretch. It is still a 1-run game in favor of the Nationals. Lange walks the first batter here. He's been okay for us since we got him off the waiver wire. But gives up an immediate base runner here, and the runner takes off to second. So he walked a double, basically. Somebody in scoring position. This will be Abrams flying out to center for a 1 down. Still a runner on second. Luis Garcia. Set an 0-2. Flies this one into right field. It's going to get over the fielder's head. Is that Beatty out there in right field? That's Brett Beatty. Brings in some insurance for the Nationals, and Lange has given up a run already. Hasn't taken him long. Chaparro gets a ground ball, and Lindor is able to field this one for the double play. So 1 run comes in, but Lange is able to limit that damage. Mets now down 2 as we go to the 8th. It is getting tight. Their winning streak is on the line at 5 games. Vientos to the plate looking at a 1-0 pitch. He will ground this one to third, 2 down for the Mets here in the 9th. Or 8th, rather. And it brings up Clement, who is going to get this one down. So he's got 2 hits here tonight. He gets a 2-out single into center field. Brings up Christian Pache. Julian Fernandez, new pitcher for the Nationals, comes in. 4.80 ERA. The Nats bullpen, guess it's not looking terrible. They do still have 2 pitchers, but they're going to have to play again tomorrow. Going through a lot of pitchers here tonight, trying to keep this slim 2-run lead intact. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Brooks Raley's coming in to try and get us into the 9th at least, without the deficit growing here. Little ground ball to first, and that will be 2 down for the Mets. Dalen Leal to the plate, looks at a 1-0 pitch, and this one will get down into center field. So the Nationals have a base runner here in the 8th. Weimer brought the go-ahead run in a couple innings ago. He's going to get a knock here, which gets the runner over to third. Did they get him? Oh, and then a good defensive play throws him out going into third. You never want to make the last out going into third. That is always the rule. We're now headed to the 9th. The Mets have 3 outs to get 2 runs against Griff McGarry. He is 2.89 ERA in the season, a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, only 12 hits in 28 innings. They've got their work cut out for him. Full count here to Luis Torrens, and he draws the walk to lead off the bottom of the 9th here. So the Mets already do have the tying run in the batter's box. Ronnie Mauricio, he's got 1 home run on the season, hitting .323. See if he can get a knock here in the 9th. Cannot, as he watches that fastball strike 3 right down the middle, no less. Brings up Brett Beatty, still a runner on. So a 1-0 pitch. That will be a ground ball to second, down to the short, back to first. Double play ends this game, and the Mets' winning streak will be stopped at 5. Still, we're 3 games over 500. Not a terrible performance from Minaya. It was a good quality start. Went 6 innings, gave up 2. He's going to get another loss. So his win-loss record not looking good here, but struck out 10, walked 1, only gave up 2 earned runs. Overall, not a bad outing for Minaya. It's a case of the stats not always telling the full story. You know what I mean? Got his 6 innings. We'll take it. Our bullpen is a little bit light. Lange did come in and give 1 up, but it was unnecessary. We had already lost. That second run just made us lose a little bit worse. All right, final game against the Nats. Speaking of our bullpen, how are we looking? Hudson is ready to go, but we're a little bit shaky about bringing him in. If we cannot, that would be great. It looks like we got a couple of arms, though, that are going to be ready to go here in this one. So we're still looking good in the bullpen. Final game against the Nationals. We need to win 1 more to win this series. So it is still a big game if we can get this one. Our rookie is on the mound for us. He's been a little bit rough this year, a 4.18 ERA. But they've got Zach Little on the mound for the Washington Nationals. Ronnie's going to lead off now. He is in left field again tonight, this time for Taylor. Beatty is playing right field. Is Taylor injured? I didn't check. No, he's just tired. He didn't play last night, though. I'm surprised he's tired 2 games in a row. At any rate, we're not mad to have Ronnie in. He's hitting .312 on the season. He's been doing pretty well in his backup role as he strikes out to lead us off here. So it looks like, yeah, Clement is going to be playing shortstop. There's no Lindor tonight. Going to be strike 2. Brings up Brett Beatty against Little. And Beatty, first pitch up the middle to the shortstop. Mets go down in order in the first. For the first time, we scored in the first inning in each of the first 3 games. But not here tonight, unfortunately. So Nats coming up. It is 0-0 still. Nazim Nunez leading off against Nolan McLean. 2-2 pitch. Gonna pop this one up to the catcher, and that should be played easily by Alvarez. 1 down for McLean. We'll count pitch to Garcia. Misses high on that ball, that fastball. So a runner for the Nationals here in the first. James Wood to the plate. He's always dangerous, and he sends this one into right field. Beatty gets it in. Is the runner gonna stop at third? Yes, the runner holds up at third, so still no score. Dalen Lill is up to the plate. 263 hitter on the year, 17 RBIs. He has got 2 runners in scoring position, and it is a tough spot for Nolan already here in this game. The 0-1 pitch comes in, ground ball to second. They're just going to get the out at first. I think that is a decent decision. Still a runner standing on third, but now there are 2 outs and a chance to limit the damage here in the first as Jose Tena comes to the plate. Looks at an 0-2 pitch, and that's going to get him. So, Mets give up 1 in the first, but it is still in striking distance. We're headed to the second. Juan Soto is going to lead us off, hitting .294 on the season this year. Looks at an 0-1, and he's going to send this into center field. That'll get down, so the Mets have a leadoff base runner again here in the second. Brings up Francisco Alvarez. Soto takes off for second. Not a base stealer, but he's going to steal this one. He's got 6 stolen bases on the season. He's now in scoring position for Francisco Alvarez. Looks at an 0-2 pitch and watches strike 3. Somebody tell Alvarez to buy a ticket if he wants to watch. Brings up Nolan Arenado. The runner is still in scoring position. 1 out. Looks at a 1-0 pitch. Soto takes off for a third. And the tying run is now 90 feet from home. Soto with 2 stolen bases here in the second inning. Full count. Nato swings a little comebacker to the mound, and that's not going to get it done. So there's 2 outs now. Mets still have a runner on third. I doubt Soto's going to steal home here, but you never know. Simeon grounds this one to short, and the Mets, again, a runner on third base with 1 out, cannot get him home in 2 tries. Headed to the bottom of the inning, still down 1-0. Clean's going to give up. Oh, Pache is going to get there. Stand corrected. That's a fly out by Shapiro. Good defensive play for Pache. As Jacob Young comes in, he's going to miss on that fastball, so there's a 1-out walk once again here in the second inning. The Nationals have a base runner. 2-2 pitch here to, who was that? Mervis. It's going to get him with the splitter. That was a bad pitch to swing on too, but that's 2 outs for McLean. Brings up Drew Millis. Looks at a 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to kick away from Alvarez. The runner is moving to second. A little bit of insurance is in scoring position for the Nationals. Still a full count pitch. Here comes the payoff. Got a hold of that one, but it's going to die in right field, and Nationals leave 1 stranded. We're headed to the third. 1-0 Nats. Clement is going to lead us off. Little's been pretty good here tonight. Given up just the 1 hit. I don't think he's given up a walk yet. Nope, he has struck out 3. He's thrown 36 pitches, though, and he doesn't have a ton of stamina, so he might be someone we can knock out of here if we can get a couple of pitches thrown here in the third inning. Ronnie comes to the plate, back to the top of the order. First pitch here, he's going to get hit, so that's 2 base runners for the Mets. Tying run once again in scoring position. Does bring up Bo Bichette. He's hitting .309 on the season. He's got 11 homers, 31 RBIs. Good chance for him to tie this one. Looks at a 1-2 pitch from Little. That's a ground ball to first, down to second, back to third. 3-6-1 double play on that one. And Mets get nothing out of it. Our offense has just become dead in the water these last couple of games. Still 1-0. It's still in striking distance. McLean gets Nunez to ground out here to lead off the bottom of the third. So as long as McLean can keep this score close, we've got a chance. Garcia comes up to the plate, 314 hitter on the season, and he swings at that slider, strike 3. So 2 down for McLean. Brings up James Wood. He drove the run in his last at bat, being 253 on the year. He looks at a 1-0 pitch and flies this one into left field. That should be playable for Ronnie, and it is. So the Mets get him 1-2-3 for the first time in a lot of innings. They've had base runners like all last game and the first 2 innings this game. Finally got a 1-2-3 inning. However, Brett Baty's going to lead us off in the fourth. 235 hitter on the season. He's gotten it up quite a ways. He was hitting 170 or so a month ago. So got the bat working a little bit better, but 230 is still not a great batting average. Soto does draw the walk on that slider that missed. Brings up Francisco Alvarez with the runner on. He stole 2 bases, did Soto, last time he was on base. If he steals one here, he's not going to go. Alvarez is going to ground into a double play here, 4-6-3. So Mets get nothing in the fourth. We're headed to the bottom of the inning. McLean still pitching. He's only thrown 60 pitches. He still has a bit of stamina to go here. He does get Lil to strike out looking. Brings up Tena. Tena's going to fly this one into center, but Pache is there to make the play. 2 down. Chaparro to the plate. Looks at a 3-1 pitch. And he bites on that one. Flies into right field. That's going to drop in front of Baty. So there is 2 outs, 1 on for the Nationals here in the fourth. McLean dealing to Jacob Young, hitting 297 on the season. Got a payoff pitch here, and he gets him to swing at that splitter, strike 3. That will do it for the Nationals. We're headed to the fifth. It is still a 1-0 game. Notto's going to lead it off for us. 1-2 pitch. He is hitless so far tonight, and that is going to continue with that one. Let's have 1 down already. Simeon lines that one straight to third. 2 down for the Mets. Brings up Clement. First pitch here. Pops this one into right, so the Mets go in order. Once again, only 1 hit for New York this game. It was Soto in the second inning. Their offense has just hit a bit of a slump. We're hoping it's not a long-term slump, because we're only 3 games above 500 as it is, as Mervis leads off and gets aboard. 2-2 pitch now to Millis, and he's going to fly this one into right field. That drops. 2 base runners here for the Nationals. Clean still in. He struck out 5, walked 2. Let's throw 90 pitches here in the fifth. There's a good softly hit ball. They're only going to get the runner at first, though. That advances the 2 into scoring position. And that is going to be the night for Nolan McLean. Brings up Brian Hudson for the Mets. And he's only pitched about 2 games for us, but one of those games, he gave up about 4 runs in an inning. So here's to hoping we don't have another outing like that in this 1-run game. First pitch here, going to be lined right to second base. Good defensive play for Simeon. That is 2 outs here for the Nationals. Still 2 in scoring position, but a big out there by Brian Hudson. James Wood comes to the plate, looks at a 2-2 pitch, and he's going to drop this one into right center field. That will score just 1 run. Still has a runner on third, so not too bad, but it's getting critical. We need to get Dylan Leal out here. Hudson deals the 1-2. This one is flown into right field, and Baty is going to make the play that time. So another one comes across the plate for the Nationals in the fifth. We are headed to the 6th inning. It's now 2-0 Washington. Mets are getting shut out here. They're getting one hit. Well, there's the second hit for New York. Still a shutout, but only 2 hits so far through 5 innings. Ronnie comes to the plate. 0-2 pitch. And he strikes out on that slider. Brings up Bo Bichette. He hasn't got a hit in a while. He still didn't get a hit here. He's hitless tonight. I'm not sure, did he have a hit last night? He had 1 hit last night and 0 for 3 so far tonight. So Bichette, his bat has gone quiet a little bit. Beatty's going to fly out to second. So the Mets leave another one stranded. We're headed to the bottom of the inning. 2-0 Nationals still as Hudson walks Tena to lead off this bottom of the 6th. We'll count to Chaparro. He's going to swing at that fastball. 1 down, 1 on. Jacob Young to the plate. We'll ground this one to third. And Nato makes the play easily. 2 down. Runner does move over, so Mervis has a runner in scoring position here as he looks at the 0-2 pitch and swings at that cutter, strike 3. A good inning for Hudson. Works around 1 hit and gets him out. Soto looks at an 0-2 pitch to lead off the 7th inning here, and a little comebacker to the mound. Gets the first out. 1 down for Alvarez. 2-2 pitch to Alvarez. He swings at that sinker, strike 3. So 2 down, brings up Nolan Arenado. Now he doesn't strike out much, but he doesn't get on base much either. And he's not going to get on base here. That's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. We are headed to the 7th inning stretch. Mets still down 2 runs. Tong is going to take over the pitching duties here. He gets Millis to strike out. Tong is a 4.65 ERA. He's given up a couple of home runs in his last couple of starts. Tong is a 2.3 home runs per 9 so far this year, and that's not going to get it done. If we could find another pitcher to take his place, we would. Still, he's kind of okay for spot relief duties, and so far he's doing well here tonight against the Nationals as he strikes out 2 and gets the side in order. We're going to head to the 8th inning. It is getting tight once again for the Mets. They trail this one 2-0. Marcus Semien is leading us off against Paxton Schultz, a 4.58 ERA on the season. 18 strikeouts in 19 innings. Excuse me. I knew that one was coming, but I didn't know when. That's a 4-pitch walk to Marcus Semien. And that brings up Ernie Clement, the tying run at the plate now. Top of the 8th, no outs. Clement looks at a 1-0 pitch. He's going to ground this to third. They're going to just get the 1 at first, so that moves the run over. But now there is 1 out for Christian Pache, a 262 hitter with a runner in scoring position. He looks at the 0-1 pitch, pops this one up to first. The Mets are just having the worst time with their offense here these last couple of games. Ronnie Mauricio is up to the plate, 2 outs now. Semien still in scoring position, trying to get home. Ronnie is going to ground this to shortstop, and a miscue at short is going to mean everybody's safe. That extends the inning for Bo Bichette to come to the plate. Runners on the corners, still 2 outs. Bo looks at the payoff pitch here, and did he get enough of that one? He did not. That is a loud out to the track. Just missed it. And we're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-0 Nationals. Still Tong on the mound as he gets his 3rd strikeout there. Wood goes down swinging, brings up Dalen Lill. And he's going to pop this one into right field. There's 2 down for Tong. Not looking too bad here against the Nationals so far, as he gets Tena to ground to second, but another miscue, this time on the Mets side. And Tena is going to end up on second. Semien with an error for New York. That brings up Chaparro to the plate. Pena now in scoring position. We're not going to mess with Chaparro. Give him the walk. Brings up Jacob Young. Young is 0 for 2 tonight, 293 on the season. Looks at a 1-2 pitch. Pops this one to left field, and Ronnie is easily there to make the play. So the error does not come back to haunt the Mets. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. Mets once again 3 outs away from dropping their second game in a row. Paxton Schultz still on the mound throwing to Brett Baty. That's going to be a leadoff walk, so the Mets do have a runner. They've got something going here in the ninth. Juan Soto comes to the plate. New pitcher, Julian Fernandez, 4.70 ERA, 24 strikeouts in 15 innings. Not a bad pitcher so far this season. He faces off against Juan Soto. And Soto takes that fastball high. Although, if we're being honest, it looked pretty good according to the StatCast there. So Mets get a favorable call, and there's now 2 on. Tying run is on first. Francisco Alvarez to the plate, 246 hitter on the season. He's got 5 home runs. He does have a little bit of home run power, but he has not flexed it so much this year so far. Now would be a good time for him to get number 6. 2-2 pitch. And he swings at a bad fastball well outside strike 3. So 1 down now for Nolan Arenado. He was the one that drove in the tying 2 runs a couple nights ago. So he has come through and tied in clutch situations. Let's see if he can get something here against Julian Fernandez. 0-1 pitch on the way. And he is going to get this one down in left field. You know, he does not get hits often, but he does get them late in tight games. Unfortunately, Baty is going to stop at third. He does not make it home. We're now looking at a bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the ninth, 2-0 lead. Marcus Semien to the plate. Got 1 home run on the season, and that was an inside the park home run. But he is hitting 250, and he just needs a base hit here in the top of the ninth. Looks at a full count pitch, and swings at what may have been a ball. That is going to drop, however, so Soto makes it home. Soto makes it home. Baty came home, but Soto scored from second on that one. You can see that was a bad pitch to swing on, but Semien knew what he was doing as he drives in the tying run in the top of the ninth, and the Mets still alive. Ernie Clement to the plate. 1 out, 2 on. Another full count pitch on the way. And Clement's going to rocket this one into left field. That should score Nato from second at the very least. And Semien is going to get to third with that RBI double. Mets take the lead here in the bottom of the ninth. Some clutch heroics from the bottom of the order for the New York Mets. New pitcher, Jarlin Susana, comes to the plate. It's his first appearance this year as he faces off against Christian Pache, who's hitting 260 so far this season. But a 1-2 pitch, and Pache is going to ground this one to second. Runner comes home. A bad throw off the mark. Yeah, that is not going to get the out. Pache with a poor decision on the Nationals. In fact, that's ruled an error on the Nationals. Gets the run home. The Mets are still alive and cooking. So we go back to the top of the order. Ronnie Mauricio comes up to the bats. 1-0 pitch. He's going to get this one down in right field. That'll play another run. The Mets, nothing through the first 8 innings, and they've got 5 here in the 9th inning with still just 1 out. Bo Bichette comes to the plate, looks at a 2-2 pitch, and Bo's going to strike out. So he didn't have a good game tonight, did Bo Bichette. But Mets still have 1 out this inning. Brett Baty comes to the plate, 229 hitter. He looks at a full count pitch. Runners go, and that's going to get through. That should score a run at least. With that RBI single, Mets have 6 now here in the bottom of the ninth. A very head-scratching meltdown for the Washington Nationals. I think their bullpen's depleted. No, it's not. I was going to say, I don't know why they're bringing in some of these pitchers that they're bringing in, but it's working out for us as Juan Soto walks for the 2nd time this inning. Brett Baty was the leadoff batter in this inning, and he and Soto both walked to start it off. So we've hit around and then some. Brings up Francisco Alvarez, looks at a 3-1 pitch, and he swings at that one. It's going to be a ground ball to short. All 5. That was in the zone, so he didn't swing at a bad pitch, but we are now headed to the 9th, and not only are we up, it's not even a save situation. That was a big 9th inning for the New York Mets. Razoban is going to come in. He is a little bit rough in his last outing. He's a 3.57 ERA so far, 15 strikeouts in 17 innings. So he's not a big strikeout pitcher. See if he can hold on to this 4-run lead. He gives up a leadoff single to Mervis into right field. Nationals already have a runner on. Millis comes up to the plate. 3-1 pitch gets Millis to fly into right field on that one. Beatty makes the play. 1 down, 1 on for Nazem Nunez. Top of the order for the Nationals. First pitch here. Swings, and that one is going to fly into left field. Mauricio makes the play easily. 2 down for Brazoban here in the bottom of the ninth. Luis Garcia to the plate. Still a runner on base. And that sinker is going to miss inside, so Brazoban walks Garcia to keep the Nationals alive. And that's going to do it for him. Devin Williams is coming in to get another save. He's got 7 on the season. Just needs 1 out here tonight as he faces James Wood. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Ground ball to second. Semien makes the play easily, and the Mets come back in the 9th inning with some heroics to get the win. Good win for the Mets. Still a little concerning about their offense. It's been very, very lackluster lately, but we'll take any win we can get. McLean wasn't great tonight, but he wasn't terrible. Got us into the 5th inning, struck out 5, only walked 2. Did give up 2 earned, so his ERA is still a little bit elevated here. Hudson did fine, all things considered. He didn't give up any. In fact, our bullpen didn't give up any this whole game, and that was huge. Tong's going to end up with the win on this one, and Williams with the save. Zach Little, of course, was spectacular. It went 7. Once he came out, we were able to start doing damage, but Zach Little, we were just unable to get anything off of him. And there it is. First achievement, 6 runs scored for the Nats in the 9th inning. Beautiful, beautiful effort for the New York Mets. Let's finish today. We're going to go up to the Miami Marlins. That was a big series. The Nationals are in last place, but they're not terribly far. They're 5 games behind us, so if we had lost that series, they would have moved up a little bit. Marlins are also down in last, so we need to win this series as well. We are 5 games out of first now as the Phillies lost that last game that they played. Rose finds a little bit of talent in Venezuela. Elorza, starting pitcher, he might be okay. I mean, he doesn't have very good BABIP right there, potential. Our scout thinks anyways, but 3 pitches, it's at least enough to be a reliever. And if his home run develops at least, then he should be fine. Where are we in our month? All right, let's see if we can at least get through the Miami Marlins. We've got 2 more hours here tonight, so if we can get through these, we played 4 games in the first 2 hours, so if we can get through these 3, we'll maybe sim a couple of these, and I want to get to the end of the month and see what our stats look like, and do a little bit of weeding out here in the minor leagues before we end it here, so I don't want to waste too much time looking around. But how's Benj doing in the minors? He's hitting 247. We can allow that, so he definitely should be in the majors right now, but at least he's having some success down there. Maybe as it gets closer to July and the All-Star break, we'll think about bringing him back up and giving him another chance. But let's get out and let's get these 3 against the Marlins played. Eduardo Perez, or Yuri Perez is who that is. Yep, Yuri Perez is on the mound. 393 average on the season. We are in Miami for this one. Back-to-back road series for the Mets. And Francisco Lindor is back in, leading off for us here in the first game against Miami. Lindor is going to send this into the gap. That is a leadoff extra base hit. Hopefully, that 9th inning kind of woke the Mets bats up. That's only going to be oh, he's in third. For a minute, I thought he stayed at first. I was like, that's only going to be a single? But no, a leadoff triple for Francisco Lindor. Yeah, hopefully our bats wake up on that 9th inning. rally that we had. Brings up Bo Bichette with a runner 90 feet from home. Then a 0-2 pitch, and poor Bo is going to be deep enough to get the run in, but he is now one hit in the last 3 games so far. 2 games plus 1 at bat here, but he's still just been having a little bit of trouble. Brett Baty comes to the plate, looks at a full count pitch. He's going to get this one into the gap out there. It's only going to be a single. Doesn't quite hit the gap, but it does hit the turf anyways. Soto comes to the plate, 1 down, 1 on. Looks at a 0-2 pitch, and he swings at that curveball. Strike 3. Brings up Francisco Alvarez. 2-1 pitch. Alvarez gets a hold of this one, but it's going to die in left field. And the Mets bring one in, and that's good to see that they were able to get that runner from third home, but they aren't able to get anything else. Freddie Peralta is on the mound for New York here. He's got a 3.16 ERA. He's been really good his last couple of games. Had a rough stretch, but I guess, well, that's so far this one. 59 last time is not bad, but yeah, he's been really good lately. He started with some trouble, but turned it around a little bit. See what he does here against the Marlins. And it's going to be a 3-1 little swinging bunt, and Peralta is able to field that one. 1 down for Miami. Xavier Edwards to the mound, or to the plate. And Peralta gives up the tie. 2 batters in to the Marlins here with a home run to X Edwards. Brings up Kyle Stowers to the plate. 0-1 pitch. He's going to ground out to first, so Peralta comes right back and gets the next out. It's good to see from a good veteran pitcher. Rowdy Tellez to the plate. He's going to fly this one into left field, and that is tracked down by Mauricio. So, Marlins are able to tie it with a home run from Edwards. We're headed to the second. It is 1-1 with Nolan Arenado leading us off. He's up to a 188 batting average. Looks at a 1-0 pitch. Ooh, did he get enough of that one? Nado. Nolan Arenado going yard to lead off the second inning. He knows that we're planning on benching him, and he's trying to work his way back into the starting lineup with that solo home run that gives the Mets the lead right back. So far, all offense from the Miami Marlins and the New York Mets here in this game 1. Taylor comes to the plate, 2-1 pitch. Base is empty. He's going to fly out to center field. That is 1 down for New York. Brings up Marcus Semien to the plate. He looks at a 2-0 pitch, and he's going to pop this one right up in the air. The third baseman is going to come over and get it, old Nick Maton. So there's 2 down now for the Mets. Brings up Ronnie Mauricio at the bottom of the order. He looks at a 1-2 pitch, and he's going to send this one into right field with a hard hit drive. It's only going to be a single, but Mets stay alive here in the second. Brings up Francisco Lindor. He had a triple his first at bat, and he's got still alive here as that wild pitch kicks away and moves Mauricio onto second. So Lindor now has a runner in scoring position. So a 1-2 pitch, and he's going to get this one to drop in left field. Mauricio coming home from second, and he gets there. Mets get 2 here in the second inning and go up 3-1. Bichette to the plate. Looks at a 2-2 pitch, and Bo Bichette goes down swinging. His offensive woes continue, but the Mets do hang 2, and Peralta has the lead once again. Let's see if he can hold it for more than half an inning. He deals the 2-2 pitch to Lopez, and that is immediately sent over the left field wall. Peralta having some trouble here against these Marlins hitters already. He has 1 back here in the second. Marcy to the plate. Gonna pop this one up to shortstop. So there's 1 down for Peralta. Nick Solak comes up to the plate, the designated hitter. 294 on the season. He looks at a 2-2 pitch and gets him swinging with that fastball. Good pitch for Peralta. Brings up Joe Mack to the plate. He looks at a 3-1 pitch, and he's gonna draw the 2-out walk. That fastball misses low. So Nick Maton comes to the plate, bottom of the order for the Miami Marlins. And Peralta is able to get him, but the Marlins do get 1 more back off the home run from Otto Lopez. Is it Otto? Not Otto. Oh, yeah, it is Otto. Was thinking there for a minute, it can't be Otto. I'm thinking of something else. But nope, Otto Lopez. Beatty draws the walk to lead us off here in the third. So the Mets do have a base runner. Brings up Juan Soto. He's going to swing at that slider, strike three. Yuri Perez got 3 strikeouts here in the third inning. He deals one to Francisco Alvarez. They're not going to turn 2 on that one, but they do get Alvarez going to first. Nato now to the plate. Had a solo home run his last at bat. He's got a runner on second in scoring position here in the third. Looks at a 2-2 pitch, and he's going to pop this one up. So Nato not going to come through in his second at bat, but he did get the solo in the first. Full count pitch to Ruiz, and that one's going to find the plate, called fastball, strike 3. Brings up Edwards. The home run in the first inning. He's going to get this one into right field in the second inning, and that's going to be a 1-out double. Puts the tying run in scoring position for Kyle Stowers. He's been on fire lately, hitting .243 on the season. He does have 21 RBIs. The 3-1 pitch, he's going to swing at that one and send it into center field. And that is 2 down for Miami here in the bottom of the third. Rowdy Tellez to the plate. So the 1-0 pitch. And he sends this into center field. Pache should be able to play it, and he does so. Peralta lets the runner get in scoring position, but does not let him get home. You're headed to the fourth. Mets still clinging to a 3-2 lead as Tyrone Taylor comes to the plate. Looking at a 2-0 pitch. Send this one opposite field, but it is going to be played out there by Stowers. 1 down. Brings up Marcus Semien. Semien lines this one to shortstop, so there is 2 down for New York. Brings up Ronnie Mauricio. The full count pitch misses outside. Mets get a 2-out walk. So they stay alive here in the fourth inning. Francisco Lindor to the plate. First pitch, Ronnie takes off for second, and he is in scoring position for the second time tonight. Let's see if they can get him home this time. Lindor looks at a full count, and he pops this one into right. Stowers is there. Mets leave him stranded on second. We are headed to the bottom of the inning. Otto Lopez to lead us off. He hit a solo last time. 1-0 pitch this time. He's going to pop this one up to third as Nolan Arenado comes in to make the play. Marcy to the plate. Full count pitch. And this one is shot into left field right up the line. So there is a 1-out double for Miami, and Peralta again. A runner standing on second. He has given up hard hit balls all night long. Just not having a good outing at all, as he does get Solak to ground out to short. It moves the runner to third, but there are 2 outs now. Joe Mack to the plate. First pitch here, swinging, and that's the ground ball to first. So Peralta gets out of it again for the second inning in a row, but you don't like that he keeps getting into trouble. At a certain point, we need him to keep runners out of scoring position. Bo Bichette is going to lead us off here in the fifth. 301 on the season. He was hitting 330 just about a week and a half ago, so he has cooled off a lot lately. 2-1 pitch here. He's going to pop this one up to shortstop, and his woes continue. Brings up Brett Beatty. Looks at a full count pitch, and Beatty grounds this one to first, but a miscue out there is going to leave him safe. So the Mets do have a base runner. New pitcher for Miami, Ryan Gusto, 3.21 ERA, 20 strikeouts in 28 innings against Juan Solo, who's hitting .293. The runner on and 1 out. Oh, Beatty, can he make it back? Crawled in under the tag. What are you doing on first, Brett? Soto. Ooh, lines to first. Beatty is able to get back. Brings up Francisco Alvarez. 2 outs now. Still a runner on first. And that runner has been picked off. Brett Beatty had no idea what he was doing on first that time. He was lost out there. Brings up Freddie Peralta. Still on the mound against Nick Maton. 86 pitches thrown by Peralta. Only 3 strikeouts here. He was, I think, third in the National League in strikeouts. Not getting very many here against the Marlins, but a lot of hard hit balls off of him here tonight. That is for sure. Full count pitch to Ruiz, and he gets him looking at that called fastball. brings up Xavier Edwards. Set another full count pitch. He's 2 for 2 tonight. That one's going to miss inside, so there is a 2-out walk to Edwards. Brings up Kyle Stowers. Set a 1-1 pitch, and this one hit hard into center field, but Pache is there to make the play. So Marlins don't even get one in scoring position that time. That was our best inning so far, technically. Mets clinging to a 3-2 lead as we go to the 6th inning. Ryan Gusto still on the mound, pitching to Francisco Alvarez, who, if only Brett Beatty had been standing on base, I guess that's an out. It looked like it was going to sneak over the wall for a minute. Brings up Nolan Arenado. He's hitting 191 now. 2-1 pitch. He's going to ground this one to the shortstop. Routine play there. So 2 down for the Mets. Brings up Tyrone Taylor. Looks at a 1-2. He's going to rocket this one into left field. There's finally a base hit for the Mets. I guess we've had a runner in every inning at least, but not very many. Gusto's been pretty good. He's only given up that hit so far in 4 outs. Simeon to the plate, runner in scoring position. He's got 7 ribbies on the year. Can he get this one home? It looks like no, as the center fielder is there to make the play. Who was that? Marcy for the Miami Marlins. Peralta's night is done. AJ Minter is going to come in here as he gets Tellez to pop up into second base. Minter has got a .82 ERA, 1 run in 11 innings, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks. Not a good ratio there, but he has not been giving up runs through a very limited sample size. He gets the first 2 to pop up here, brings up Jacob Marcy, and gets him swinging on the fastball. Good 1-2-3 inning for AJ Minter. We're headed to the 7th inning. Mets still lead it by a run. Ronnie's going to get a leadoff hit here as he sends that one into center field. And that brings up the top of the order, Francisco Lindor. He's hitting 244 now. 2 for 3 here tonight. A strikeout on that fastball. 3-pitch strikeout there. Brings up Bo Bichette. He is hitless in his last 2 games. Still going to remain hitless here tonight. We need Bichette's bat working better than this, or we are in some trouble. Mark Vientos pinch hitting for Brett Beatty here in the 7th inning. He is 2-11 so far on the season. They brought him in because Scott Alexander is the new pitcher. The lefty on lefty, or the righty on lefty matchup is what they're looking for. 5.40 ERA for Alexander in 1 inning of work. Going to be a wild pitch that kicks away and gets to the backstop here. Moves the runner up to second. Vientos still at the plate, now as a runner in scoring position. And he swing and miss at that sinker, strike 3. That is going to do it for the Mets. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th. Solak, a leadoff single here for the Miami Marlins. And Minter has a little bit of traffic here in the 7th, as he gets Mack to strike out swinging. Brings up Agustin Ramirez, pinch hitter for the Marlins, hitting .234 on the season with 2 homers and 12 RBIs. Looks at a full count pitch here and flies this one into left. Mauricio easily makes the play there. There's going to be 2 down, and that's it for Minter. New pitcher, Craig Kimbrel. His last outing, he was pretty good. 216 on the season. He does have 20 strikeouts in just 16 innings. Only 7 walks. So, needs 1 out here in the 7th to keep this 1-run lead intact. And that pitch, a little bit wild, but Alvarez able to keep it in front of him. Now a full count to Owen Cassie. And he's going to miss on that fastball down low. So 2 on now for Xavier Edwards. The tying run is in scoring position. Craig Kimbrel deals the 0-1. And Xavier is going to get the tie to come in. That is a blown save. Oh, the tie is not. They're going to stop at third, actually. Good defense by Mauricio to keep that run from coming home. Brings up Kyle Stowers. Bases loaded now. 2 outs. Tying runs on third. Go-ahead run is on second. He looks at a first pitch swinging, and he's going to get them both in on that one shortly. So the Marlins do not. Only one comes in. Mauricio twice, keeps that run on third. Kimbrel, though, having some trouble here. Has not gotten an out yet. Has already given up 2 hits and a walk. Rowdy Tellez to the plate. Full count pitch. And Tellez is going to send this one over the wall in center field. A grand slam. Craig Kimbrel comes in and gives up the game for the New York Mets here in the bottom of the 7th. That's going to be the night for him. He came in, gave up 5 runs, no outs, and then went to the showers. If he was a Marlins fan, he should have disclosed that when we signed him in the offseason. Brazoban comes in, finally gets the last out. We're headed to the 8th, but this 1-run lead has turned into a 4-run deficit for the New York Mets. As Soto comes in, sends this one into the gap, so he's got a leadoff double. The Mets have a runner in scoring position at least here in the 8th. Brings up Francisco Alvarez. New pitcher Josh White, 14 innings pitched. He's got a 5.14 ERA, 10 strikeouts on the season. And that will be number 11 as Alvarez swings at the changeup, strike 3. Brings up Nolan Arenado. He's been good clutch these last few games. Got the 1-0 pitch and grounds out to short there, so he's not going to get a clutch hit here in the 8th. Tyrone Taylor comes to the plate, 0-1 pitch, and Taylor sends this to third base. Easy play. Mets cannot get that runner home from second. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. It is a 4-run Miami Marlins lead as Brazoban gets Marcy swinging. 3-1 pitch to Solak. He's going to fly this one into right field. 2 down. Brings up Joe Mack. Looks at another 3-1 pitch and grounds this one to first. So a good 1-2-3 inning for Brazoban. He comes in, gets 4 outs in a row. Just what we needed there. But it is getting crunch time for the Mets. Bottom of the order here with Semien and Mauricio up to the plate. Mets need 4 runs to avoid the loss. 2-2 pitch to Semien. And that's going to be the first out here in the 9th. Mauricio comes to the plate. He's going to dump this one into right field. Mets have a 1-out single. Ronnie has been good for us. 359 is what he's been hitting in a limited sample size, but still very good. You know, he can play first or third, really. Or I guess the outfield. I think we were planning on putting him in somewhere, though, weren't we? I feel like with 359 batting average, we've got to find a spot for him, right? At least while he's hitting like this. If he starts to slump a little bit, we can pull him out. But while he's got a hot bat, we need him in the order. Lindor comes to the plate, 1 on, 1 out. Looks at the 0-1 pitch. And he's going to get this one into right field. That drops right in front of the right fielder. Mauricio standing and watching, so he only makes it to second. But there are 2 on now for Bo Bichette. Poor Bo Bichette. We look at his game log here. He was hitting pretty well. And then those are his home runs. Where are his hits? Yeah, there we go. He was hitting pretty well, and then he's just kind of dried up here in these last 5 games at least. 2 hits in 6, 11, 16, 19 at-bats. He's got 2 hits, so he's calmed down a lot. This is a big at-bat. New pitcher is Pete Fairbanks, 4.19 ERA against Bo Bichette. We need a hit here. We need a home run here, Bichette. That's what we're looking for. And that 1-1 pitch is going to kick away, so there are now 2 in scoring position. Takes the double play away as well, so that was a big miscue there on the Marlins' part. Bichette now looks at a 2-1 pitch, 3-1 pitch. And he holds off on that low fastball for ball 4. That loads them up for Christian Pache. Center fielder, I don't know. I mean, he is hitting 258 on the season. Not sure why he's batting third. There must have been a substitute at some point. But anyways, bases loaded, 1 out. Pache is who we're counting on here. And he goes up the middle. Pache gets the hit. I was talking trash for nothing. That's going to get the Mets a run closer. The tie is now on first. Juan Soto comes to the plate. If he can go yard here, then the Mets can grab the lead. He's got 12 home runs on the season and 32 RBIs, so This is exactly who we want. There is nowhere to put him. Fairbanks is going to have to pitch to him. 1-1 pitch and a ground ball to second. They're going to get the runner going home, but no one else. So a bad at bat from Juan Soto. The tie is still standing on first. Alvarez now to the plate. 234 on the season. 5 homers, 13 RBIs. The Marlins now 1 out away from hanging on to this one. 1-0 pitch to Francisco Alvarez. He's going to get this one into right field. It's not going to count for 4 runs, but it will bring 1 in. And the Mets now have the tying run on second with Nolan Arenado to the plate. Nato, 189. Can we see the stats here? We can see regular season. No, we can't see his runners in scoring position batting average, but I feel like it's better than 189. Let's see if he can come in the clutch here. It all rests on Nato. 1-2 pitch, and he cannot as he grounds to short, but an error on the shortstop, Otto Lopez, means everybody's safe, so the miscue keeps the Mets alive. Taylor is now at the plate. 1 run away from tying this one up. Juan Soto, 90 feet from home. New pitcher is Grant Wolfram. He has pitched an inning so far, and he didn't give up a hit his last time out. Let's see if he can get Tyrone Taylor here. The full count pitch misses, and that walks the tying run home. The Mets are still alive here in the bottom of the 9th with a tying walk to Tyrone Taylor. Brings up Marcus Semien. It has been on a knife's edge these last couple of batters. An error and a walk and a wild pitch. Just some bad play for the Marlins has kept the Mets alive. Semien hitting 246 on the season. All comes down to him now. 0-2 pitch, and he is going to swing at that fastball, strike 3, but the Mets do get 4, and they tie it up. So Brazoban comes in to try and get us into extra innings here against Christopher Morel, leading us off. Full count pitch. He is going to drop this one into the gap in left center. That is a leadoff extra base hit, and the winning run is now standing on second for Owen Casey to the plate. 236 on the season. We're just going to walk him to get to Xavier Edwards. I don't know about that decision. I would assume Edwards is the more it's the more dangerous batter. But he's looking at a 1-2 pitch. Grounds this one to second. Down to the shortstop at second. Back to first. A double play gets the Mets 1 out away from getting out of this inning. But the go-ahead, the winning run, is now standing on third base with Kyle Stowers to the plate. 28 pitches thrown by Brazoban. He's starting to tire a little bit. See if he can get this last out. They're not going to mess with Stowers, actually, and they're actually going to bring in Brooks Raley then. That makes a little bit of sense. New pitcher, left-on-left matchup. We like this. Rowdy Tellez to the plate. He is 1 for 4 so far tonight. He does have a home run and 4 RBIs. He got that grand slam off Hudson that put the Marlins up. So, Don Rayleigh here to get this last out. And he gets Tellez to fly into right field. Easy play made by, who was our right fielder out there? Taylor? Taylor's playing right field today. Easy play made by Taylor. We are headed to extra innings with some last-minute heroics from the Mets. Ronnie Mauricio is leading us up here with Marcus Semien, the free runner on second. Ronnie is going to get this one into left, but it's going to be played out there. That will not advance the runner. We're back to the top of the order, and Semien is still standing on second. Lindor is going to pop this one into left field. That will not advance the runner. So the Mets, in 2 tries, have not gotten the runner off of second. Brings up Bo Bichette. They don't want to mess with him, and that's pretty smart. That brings up Christian Pache. He did get the knock last time to keep the inning alive, and he is going to fly out this time, so the Mets cannot get the free runner home. That gives, once again, the Marlins the chance to win this one in walk-off fashion. Rayleigh walks Otto Lopez to bring up Marcy. The double play is now in order, and that is not going to do it. A knock into right field. The runner doesn't come in, so they're now loaded for Nick Solak. No outs, One run comes in, and that's the ball game. 2-1 pitch. Solak is going to get him in, and the Mets come back in heroic fashion in the 9th and then give it up in the 10th. A big roller coaster graph right here. They are still 3 games above 500, but losing to the Marlins isn't what you'd like to see. A bad outing from Peralta, 5 innings pitched, gave up 2 home runs, only struck out 4. His last 2 have not been spectacular, but the real loser here was Kimbrel. That's who it was that gave it up. Didn't get a single out, 3 hits, a walk, and a 4-run grand slam home run. So Kimbrel would be one I would love to get off of our roster here. So far for the year, where are you at, Craig Kimbrel? I mean, a 115 FIP minus. His BABIP is 319, 156 WHIP. He has just not been a very good reliever for us. We're going to come down here and tell you guys, use him less often. We've got some other arms in here. They might be anyways. We haven't seen him in a while. I guess it was about 3 days earlier that he pitched. He did do 1 scoreless, but I might be overreacting. One grand slam, and all of a sudden I'm like, get him out of my roster. But still, 1 grand slam in an inning. He only pitched an inning. I'm going to go get some water because all this talking is making me thirsty. I'll be back in 1.5 minutes. All right, let's get straight into game 2 against the Marlins here. We lost one, won one, and then lost one. So we had that 5-game win streak. We've been about 500 since then in the last couple of games. Here we are against Sandy Alcantara, still against the Marlins. Alcantara, a 3.96 ERA. As a starter, that's not bad. And they're going to have a little bit higher because they pitch more innings, more chances for people to score. But lead off to Francisco Lindor, and he's going to fly out to center, 1 down for the Mets here in the first. Ronnie is playing center field tonight. Who's our first baseman? Torrens is playing first base. Wasn't expecting that. Alvarez catching. Third is Nolan Arenado. I don't know why. Do we not have Vientos as the backup first baseman? I don't know why Torrens is there. He's fine. He can play first base. Like, defensively, he'll be okay, but not the bat that we're looking for necessarily. Maybe it wasn't Brett Beatty. Maybe I'm wondering if I forgot to put a backup first baseman is the thing. As Ronnie gets on, so the Mets do have a base runner here in the first. Ronnie takes off to second, and that's going to be a stolen base. So Brett Beatty, no 2 count right now, but he does have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And he swings at that slider, strike 3, so that's going to bring up Juan Solo. Still has a runner in scoring position, 2 outs now. And he grounds this one to the second baseman, 4-3, easy play. Gonna do it for the Mets in the first. We are headed to the bottom. Kodai Senga on the mound. And he's going to get Ruiz to ground out to third. Senga at 3.23 ERA on the season. Does have 57 strikeouts. His last time out, he had quite a bit of traffic, was getting into trouble a lot, but I think he did get that win. Yeah, he did get that win. I mean, he didn't give up much, but he did give up 6 hits and no walks, 3 strikeouts, but 6 hits. He had runners on all night long. Stowers watches that fastball, strike 3, so the Marlins go down in order. We are headed to the second inning. Still no score. As Francisco Alvarez grounds out to the shortstop. Otto Lopez, 1 down for the Mets here in the second. Nolan Arenado comes to the plate. And he's going to get a knock. I need that bat working, Nato. The third baseman cannot be hitting 190. I mean, nobody can be. You're a big leaguer. You should be hitting more than 190. But especially the third baseman can't be hitting 190. As Torrens flies out to left field, that's going to be the second out for the Mets. 1 on, 2 outs. Marcus Semien comes to the plate. And the 1-0 pitch, he's going to pop this one up to the second baseman. So, Mets leave a runner stranded for 2 innings back to back. We are headed to the bottom. And that was a swing. They called that check swing a swing. That was a bad forkball to swing at right there, Tellez. 2 strikeouts for Senga here in the second. Pitching to Otto Lopez. And gets him swinging on the slider. His 3rd strikeout of the game. 2-2 pitch to Owen Casey. And strikes out the side. A good second inning for Kodai Senga. He's got it working here in this game against the Marlins. And Tyrone Taylor holds off on that bad slider. That actually looks like it caught the zone, but called it a ball. It's going to be a walk, a leadoff walk for the Mets. Brings up Francisco Lindor with a runner on here in the second. Taylor breaks for second, and he's going to get in there. So Lindor has a runner in scoring position. For the second time tonight, the Mets have a runner on second base. Can they get him home this time? Lindor is not going to do it. That much is true. Going to be 1 down. Brings up Ronnie. Ronnie does have one of our only 2 hits. Tyrone's got the other one. See if he can get one here and drive this run home. He cannot. It's going to be popped up to the first baseman. 2 down for the Mets. Brings up Brett Baty. Still a runner in scoring position. Looks at an 0-2 pitch. And Baty grounds this one out to second. An error is going to get him safe. But note well, the Mets still have not gotten that run home. Brings up Juan Soto. Got him on the corners now. 2 outs, 1-1 pitch. Juan Soto is going to fly this in the center, and it is going to be, misplayed by the center fielder. That'll drive a run home. And Baty is going to hold up at third. So that does only get 1 run home, but the Mets do take a 1-0 lead here in the third with an error off of the Miami Marlins. Brings up Francisco Alvarez. 238 on the season. He's got 2 in scoring position. The 0-1 pitch. There is a legit hit right there. Francisco Alvarez plates a run with that single. And the Mets have a little bit of a rally going on here with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Brings up Nolan Arenado. He got a hit last time up. He's up to a 193 average. Runner on 3rd for him here in the 3rd, and he's going to watch strike 3. Nado goes down looking. But the Mets do get 2, and Kodai Senga now has a lead. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, Nick Solak leading us off. Looks at the 2-1 pitch, and this is rocketed into right field. Baty is not going to be able to make the play on that one. Is that Tyler out there, actually? No, Baty's in right field, I think. I move them around so much. Yeah, that was Baty. I need to pick a spot for them and just leave them so I know who's playing where. At any rate, a leadoff double for the Marlins puts a runner in scoring position for Christopher Morel. He looks at the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be ground to Noland. He gets the play easily. 1 down here in the 3rd. Agustin Ramirez to the plate. Swings at that slider, strike 3. So Senga gives up a leadoff double. Gets the next 2 outs. There is now 2 gone for Estuary Ruiz, the top of the order, coming in, trying to get that run home from second. Senga deals the 0-2 pitch, and Ruiz grounds this to Lindor, so Senga gets into a little bit of trouble, but gets out of it without any damage. We are headed to the 4th. It is still 2-0 Mets. Torrens is leading us off, looks at a 3-1 pitch, and he swings at that one. It's going to get it to drop in center field, so Mets offense has been much better tonight than it was last night at any rate. Semien comes to the plate with a runner aboard, and Torrens takes off on a hit and run, so that avoided the double play at least. Advances the runner to second. Tyrone Taylor comes to the plate. He has the runner in scoring position. 0-2 pitch. He is not going to advance him at all, so there's now 2 down for the Mets. Back up to the top of the order, Francisco Lindor with Torrens standing on second. And Lindor swings at a strike 3 changeup. So the Mets do not get anybody in the 4th. They're headed to the bottom of the inning, 2-0 New York. Edwards leading off, and he's going to ground out to first. That's 1 down easy for Senga here. First pitch, Stowers swings, and Tyrone Taylor is going to make a good plate to save that extra base hit. 2 down. Rowdy Tellez comes in. First pitch swinging from Senga. And he's going to fly out to right. So Senga gets an easy 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. We are headed to the 5th. It is still 2-0 Mets. Ronnie Mauricio leading us off. Ooh, and he swings at a sick sinker right there for strike 3. 1 down for the Mets. Brings up Brett Baty. First pitch here. He's going to get this one into right field. A 1-out single gets a base runner for Juan Soto coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He did get an RBI his last time up. First pitch here. Baty breaks for second. And that's going to put him in scoring position for Soto, who's got 3 RBIs on the season. Chance to get one more here. He is not going to do it, but he will advance the runner 90 feet. So now Alvarez comes to the plate, and he has got a little bit of insurance standing on third if he can get him home. Full count pitch. He's able to check his swing. That gets him on base. Brings Nato to the plate again. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Chance for another RBI here. He is going to get this into the gap. Nato comes through again with an RBI double. That going to plate too. I don't think... No, I was going to say, I don't think Alvarez can score from first with his 35 speed. And indeed he could not, but that does plate a runner. Torrens comes in with 2 in scoring position once again. Looks at an 0-2 pitch. And Luis Torrens cannot add to the total here, but the Mets do get 1, so a little bit of breathing room for Senga as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Full count pitch to Lopez, gets him swinging on the ghost fork that Senga is famous for. He's only thrown 56 pitches, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. Senga has looked pretty good here against the Marlins through 4 1/3. 2-2 pitch to Owen Casey, gets him looking at the cutter on the outside edge. That's going to be 2 down for the Marlins here in the 5th. And Solak, he's 1 for 1. He's going to ground this one to second. Simeon can make the play easily. Gets him in order again. That is 6 in a row. Retired, or 7 in a row, at least, I guess, for Kodai Senga. We're headed to the 6th. It is still a 3-run game in favor of the Mets as Simeon gets a leadoff single. Ooh, and another error on the Miami Marlins. They had 2 or 3 last night, and they've already got another one tonight. Thought that was their second error tonight, but I must be remembering the 9th inning last night. Ryan Gusto is going to be the new pitcher. 2.97 ERA on the season. We saw him last night, and he did pretty well against us. But he should be tired tonight, so let's see if we can run the score up a little bit here as Taylor does drop one into shallow left field and gets the runner home from second. That's another run in for the Mets here in the 6th, and we go up 4-0. We go back to the top of the order. Francisco Lindor comes to the plate. First pitch here. He swings and sends this into center field, but Ruiz. It's Ruiz in center field. He's going to make the play. Ronnie Mauricio to the plate. 350 on the season. Looks at a 1-2 pitch. That should get down out there, and that's going to get the runner onto second at least. He's not going to go first to third on that one. He does have a little bit of speed, but it just wasn't quite hit deep enough. Brings up Brett Baty, 2 on, 1 out. Looks at a 2-2 pitch, and Baty sends this one into right field. It's going to be played by Stowers easily. So that's 2 down for the Mets. Brings up Juan Soto. He's 1 for 3 tonight, 294 on the season. First pitch here, swings, and that should find the gap out there. That will plate at least another one. It's Mauricio. It looks like that plates 2. 2 RBIs on that double for Juan Soto, and the Mets have blown it open here in the 6th inning. Francisco Alvarez to the plate. Still 2 outs, still a runner in scoring position. Alvarez is going to drop this into center field. It will not score the runner, but Mets stay alive. Nolan Arenado comes to the plate. He's got runners on the corners. Still 2 outs, still Ryan Gusto on the mound. The 1-2 pitch. Nato doesn't strike out much, but he did strike out that time to end the inning. But the Mets do get 3 more, and we are up 6-0 with Kodai Senga dealing bullets out there on the mound. He's only thrown 60 pitches through 5 innings. struck out 7, doesn't have a walk yet. I think that struck out 8 as he gets Morel to go down swinging. Brings up Agustin Ramirez, who's been in a slump lately. Looks at a 1-2 pitch here in the 6th. He's going to fight that strike off and fly out to left. So 2 gone for Senga. Brings up the top of the order, Estuary Ruiz at a 3-1 pitch. And he offers at that slider, but grounds out to third. So another 1-2-3 inning for Kodai Senga, and he's going deep in this game. He should be able to get us the 7th inning, which will save our bullpen. Such a luxury when they can go more than 6. Torrens is leading us off, and he's going to drop this into center field. The Mets offense has been on fire. We had about 3 or 4 games there where our offense was very lackluster, but it appears we are back on track with these last couple of games as Simeon draws a walk. We've got 2 on for Tyrone Taylor, only hitting .207 on the season, but he is 1 for 2 here tonight. Taylor Clark, the new pitcher. He's going to get Taylor in the infield fly rule right there. So 1 down. Taylor Clark is a 5.68 ERA, only 6 innings pitched. There must be some turmoil on our other pitching staffs here because the Yankees had a lot of pitchers without many innings pitched, and the Nationals had quite a few with no innings pitched. And now here we are with the Marlins. Same thing. As they do get Lindor to fly out. It's going to bring up Ronnie. Still a runner in scoring position. We've got 2 outs now. First pitch here to Mauricio, and he is going to get this one deep. It's not going to get out, but it is off the wall in right center. That'll plate a couple. And Mauricio with a 2 RBI, 2 out double. Not only is it nice to see him getting those runners in scoring position in, but doing it with 2 outs. You know, that's huge. You can do that, you can win a lot of games. But Brett Baty comes to the plate, still has a runner in scoring position, and he still has a 2-out chance to get an RBI. He is going to get this one out in center field. At least Ronnie gets to third. Is he round into home? He is not. He stops at third, but a good single for Baty keeps this inning alive. Brings up Juan Solo to the plate. 2 for 4 tonight. He's got 3 RBIs already. Full count pitch here. He's going to line it straight to the shortstop. So Mets get 2 more, increase their lead to 8-0. We are headed to the bottom of the 7th. Senga still dealing. That's going to be a leadoff single by Xavier Edwards on the 0-2 pitch. Couldn't get that strikeout past him, but Stowers is going to ground out to second in a fielder's choice. That's 1 down for Senga. Brings up Rowdy Tellez. And Rowdy's going to pop this one up to Nolan Arenado at third. 2 down. Brings up Otto Lopez. He had a solo home run last night against us. Struck out here tonight, though. Was it last night or was it 2 nights? Is this our 3rd game against the Marlins? Can't even remember anymore. We are headed to the 8th inning either way. Francisco Alvarez leading us off. Still hitting .250. He has been a very consistent .250 hitter for us all year long. And he is going to get a hold of this one for a leadoff solo shot from Francisco Alvarez. That is only his 6th home run of the season. We expect a little bit more from him, but so far he's been pretty quiet with his bats. Nato, 2 for 4 so far. He's going to go 2 for 5 with that strikeout. Brings up Luis Torrens. He's going to swing at that first pitch and fly out to left field. Ooh, he stole a home run. That was just going to barely squeak across the wall, but Casey was able to pull it back. 2 down now for the Mets. Brings up Marcus Semien. Looking at a 2-2 pitch, and he swings at that fastball. Strike 3. Mets get a leadoff home run, and then the next 3 go down. But we are headed to the bottom of the inning, up 9-0 now. Nick Maton is at the plate. Jonah Tong is pitching. 4.41 ERA. He's given up quite a few home runs so far in his 32 innings pitched. A 2.2 a game. He's given up 8 home runs in 32 innings. So Tong has not been what we were looking for here. He is a rookie. You can expect some up and downs, but a home run per game, or per 9 anyways, over 2 is minor league level for sure. He's going to give up a 1-out double to Solak here in the 8th. Still not really in danger of this game getting away from us, but we'll have to decide what side, how long of a leash we want to keep him on here. Brings up Ramirez, 2 outs now. Runner still in scoring position, 1-0 pitch. It's going to get Ramirez to fly out to center field. So there is the double, but nothing else for the Mets in the 8th. We're headed to the 9th, and it's still a 9-run game as Tyrone Taylor leads off and grounds out to second. Clark is still on the mound. He's thrown almost 40 pitches here already. They're probably going to just try and get him to get him through this final inning, all 3 of the last, to save their bullpen. And he does it, comes in and gets 3 in a row in the 9th. A good final frame for the Marlins. But they still trail 9, and it's looking rather dicey for them here, as Jonah Tong is going to try and get 6 outs for us to close this one out. Does get Edwards grounded out, brings up Stowers, represents the final out for the Miami Marlins, looks at the payoff pitch, and gets a hold of that one. Another home run given up by Jonah Tong. He has just been giving those ones up all season long. Still, the Mets are up 9-1. Rowdy Tellez to the plate, 281 on the season. Looks at another full count. And this one's going to get down opposite field into the left field corner. So 2 outs. The Marlins have a couple of hits here. And Tong is still out there. He's thrown 41 pitches now. He's just trying to get this last out and close the door. And he does get Otto Lopez finally to swing at that slider. Strike 3. So Mets take game 2 here against the Miami Marlins. A great outing from Kodai Senga. 7 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits. I mean, Senga was beautiful. Tong was a little bit spotty there with his home run, but still, 2 innings, only the 1. You know, he had that 1 bad pitch, but otherwise not bad. And just an overall good game from the New York Mets. Yeah, that was game 2. I don't know why I was thinking it was game 3. All right, so we're going to play game 3 against the Mets. We might look at the first one against Cincinnati here, and then we'll sim to the end of the month, and we'll go over some of our stats for the first 2 months and our minor league. Do a little bit of upkeep out there, make sure everything is the way it needs to be, and then we'll pick it up again next time. Let's see, Pete Alonso, former Met, is leading the first base votes. I'd like to see a Yankee up there, but what are you going to do? The American League, we don't have many that we know here. I know that the Texas Rangers have got Nemo playing for him out there, but I don't see his name on the voting list. In the National League, where our players are, we've got Bo Bichette as a second baseman, still in the running for some votes. We've got Lindor getting some votes, but he is trailing a little bit the first place vote getter. And looks like that is just about it. Peralta is squeaking on the list right there, and Devin Williams is getting some votes. So we've got a few pitchers, not many Mets getting all-star votes here early in this season. And with a 28-24 record, I can see why. All right, game 3 against the Florida Marlins, or Miami Marlins now, anyways. Peterson and Braxton Garrett's got a 4.82 ERA. Peterson's been very good for us, but his last outing was very bad. So, here's to hoping he got the yips out of him and is ready to go tonight as Lindor, the leadoff batter, gets aboard. He, to his credit, Francisco Lindor, I don't know if there's a stat we can look at on the main page there for first inning hits or leadoff hits, but I think he gets on pretty much every leadoff game. At least, it's not very often when he doesn't, at the very least. He's going to take off there, and that's prevented the double play. An error at first base means everybody's safe. Already a miscue for the Marlins. Their defense has been very spotty in this series. Semien comes to the plate, 242 hitter on the air. He does have 2 runners on and no outs. First pitch here And Mac is able to keep it in front of him, so the runners can't advance. 1-0 pitch now. And Simeon's going to ground this one to third. That will be 2. It does get Lindor onto second, so there are now 2 down. Juan Soto comes to the plate with the go-ahead run, 90 feet from home. 1-0 pitch. He's going to fly this into center, and it is going to drop. That will get Lindor home. Another RBI for Juan Soto. 36 now on the season. He leads our team by 4. And he has been having a great start to the season here tonight. Luis Torrens is our catcher tonight. He's going to be trying to keep this inning alive. He pops that one up to third base. So the Mets do get one, leave one stranded. We are headed now to the bottom of the inning. Yeah, Peterson's last outing, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He gave up 4 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings. So we're looking for something better for him tonight. He deals the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to get down. Ruiz with a leadoff single for the Miami Marlins. 1 on, no outs as Jacob Marcy comes to the plate. First pitch here, he grounds to first. They're going to get the runner at second, but that's it on the 3-6 fielder's choice. 1 down now, runner still on first. Kyle Stowers comes to the plate. He looks at an 0-2 pitch, sends this one into left field, and that is gone. So Peterson comes in and gives the lead up in the bottom of the first. His slump continues from his last game. He could not hold the lead even for half an inning. Still 1 down. Rowdy Tellez to the plate. It's still just a 1-run game, so the Mets are in it, especially with the way their offense has been going these last couple of nights. Nick Salat comes to the plate. Shortstop for the Marlins is hitting .360 this year. He looks at a 1-2 pitch. Yeah, lock in, Peterson. If you didn't want to play tonight, you should have called in sick, man. He does get the next 2 batters at least. So, good veteran pitcher, gives up the home run, but gets the next 2 outs, and it is a 2-1 game as we go to the second. Christian Pache leading off for the Mets here in the top of the second. He's going to swing at that curveball, strike 3. Brings up Nolan Arenado. 0-1 pitch. With nobody on and no outs, Nato gets a hold of that one and he ties it up. Nolan Arenado comes in clutch again. As much as I think with his 190 batting average that we need to bench him, he just comes up clutch again and again. I can't put him down. He is the best to ever play. It would be a sin to bench him. Mets tie it up here in the second. And Mauricio comes to the plate. Base is still empty, 1 out. Ronnie Mauricio has been having a pretty good season in limited at-bats. He's going to get this one over the center fielder's head. And the Mets, Arenado turning the clock back. Indeed, he looks like it's 2018 again. Okay, don't know what Mauricio was up there. He was at home plate for a minute, and now he's at third. The point is, he's safe. That is a 1-out triple for Ronnie, and Tyrone Taylor's got the go-ahead run 90 feet from home. Braxton Garrett still pitching. He's thrown 27 pitches so far in the game. Tyrone grounds this one to short. It is going to get the run home on the sacrifice hit, so the Mets give up 2 in the bottom of the first and get them right back in the top of the second. Good offense for New York. Back to the leadoff batter, Francisco Lindor. And he's going to get on his second hit here tonight. Brings up Bo Bichette, 296 on the season, but hitless in his last 3 games, or 2 games really. He's hitless so far tonight, but in his last 2 games, only 1. If you go back 5 games, he's only got 1 hit. So he's been quiet lately. He does have a runner on. Can Bichette do something? And he can. He sends that fastball to the deepest part of the park, a cutter that caught too much of the plate. And the Mets, after going down a run, come back with a big 4-run second inning. And they're up 5-2 now. Braxton Garrett still on the mound. He's got 1 strikeout and no walks. Yeah, he was stream sniping, and he did not like what he heard, did he? I need to talk crap about Bo Bichette more often. That ground ball by Simeon is going to end the inning, but we are headed to the bottom of the second. Now, Peterson's got a slightly bigger lead, a little bit more chain here to mess with, as that sinker, bad pitch right there to swing on, but he gets Norby to chase. That's the second strikeout for David Peterson. One down in the second. 3-1 pitch to Flores. That's going to miss again. Flores doesn't chase, so there is a 1-out walk. Nick Maton comes up. He's hitting .289 on the season. Got 1 on and 1 out with the 1-2 pitch. He swings at that fastball high and outside. Peterson had a bit of a rough first, but he's locked in here in the second. And he's gotten 3 outs and 4 batters. He gives up the 1 walk, and that is it. So we are headed to the third.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
Blue Bear,
Bezos
how you
money.
doing? Soto comes up.
Bezos money.
Bezos money. And Soto gets a leadoff single. How you doing, Blue Bear 8 pairs? I haven't seen you around in a while. Of course, I haven't been playing Workers and Resources in a couple of weeks, so that's on me a little bit. There is a leadoff single by Juan Soto. Luis Torrens comes in with the runner in scoring position, and he's going to get that down in center field. Soto rounding for home, and that would have got him a better throw, but another error on the Miami Marlins, and the Mets add to their lead here in the third. 6-2 now. Christian Pash comes to the plate. Looks at a 1-0 pitch, and he's going to pop this one up. It's not going to advance the runner. There is now 1 down. Nato back to the plate. He's almost got his average up to 200, which is at least respectable. He's got the runner in scoring position, looks at a 1-1 pitch, and he is not going to advance the runner with that one. So 2 down, 1 on. Bronny Mauricio comes to the plate, almost hitting 400 here. Still limited at bats. He's had 47 at bats and 51 plate appearances, but still 400 is respectable. He goes yard with that one. Mauricio, a 2-run home run off that cutter. And the Mets are just piling it on. Here against the Miami Marlins, their bats have come alive. Mauricio is on fire, hitting .396 now with that home run. Taylor comes to the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. Looks at an 0-1 pitch. And he's going to ground this one out to the pitcher, so the Mets inning comes to a close there, but not before they get 3 more. And this game has been blown open here in the third. Peterson comes up. All pressure is off him now. He can just come out and pitch. And he does get the leadoff batter, Estuary Ruiz, to ground out to the shortstop. Brings up Jacob Marcy to the plate. 1-0 pitch there. That one came off the bat hot, but it dies in right field. Just a loud out on that one. 2 down for the Marlins. Peterson, an out away from getting the side in order, and he strikes out Stowers. He has got it locked in now. We are headed to the fourth. Lindor at the plate. Garrett Action still on the mound. He's only thrown 2 innings so far this year. But he did get the out he needed last inning to end it. And he got Lindor here. So he's come in and gotten 2 outs right away. I guess he's given up 2 hits so far, but gotten 2 quick outs. Anyways. Benj is in minor league purgatory. We'll look at him after this one, Cobra. But he played for us for a little while, and we had to send him back down. So I'll update you on that. You're a little bit late so far to the season. As where are we at here? Simeon grounds out to end. I looked away from the screen for a second and got completely confused. Rowdy Tellez comes in to lead off here in the bottom of the fourth, and he's going to get a base hit. So Peterson gives up the leadoff runner, and then he's going to give up another base hit to Nick Solak. Miami's got a little bit of a rally going on here in the fourth. Peterson's only thrown 53 pitches. He's got 4 strikeouts, but he does have some traffic here in the 4th inning. Norby is going to fly this one into right field. Easy play for Tyler, and it's not going to advance the runner. 1 down, still 2 on. Wilmer Flores to the plate. Ground ball gets you out of it. There is a grounder to the mound. He gets it to second. That is a rare 1-6-3 double play. You don't see often, but it gets him out of the inning. And picking Pache over Benj is the statement. Pache is hitting 258, and Benj was hitting 125. So it was actually a pretty easy decision for us. As long as Pache is going 258, he's going to earn himself a major league roster. A major league roster spot. Yeah, there's just no way I can keep him up here at 125, especially because he's so young. I'm worrying about him stunting his development, not hitting it. I'm not sure exactly how the game handles that stuff, but in AAA for a little while, we'll bring him back up maybe around July. Just give him a few at-bats down there in the minors and see if he can get himself straight is what we're hoping for. As Pache, speaking of, takes that strike 3 called. But in Pache's defense, that was not strike 3. That was outside. Ref is watching a different game than we are. Brings up Nolan Arenado to the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. He had a solo home run his first time up. And he's going to ground out to third this time. So we'll do it for the Mets in the 5th. But it is still 9-2. And Peterson is still on the mound. 59 pitches thrown. He has been fairly efficient. Gets Matan to ground out there. He's only given up 4 hits. He's struck out 4 and walked 1. So not a lot of traffic here tonight. They give up that 2-run home run early. There's a ground ball to Nolan. That's down to second. And around the horn, they get the double play. Peterson gets him, turns 2 to get him in order in that one. Brings up Ronnie Mauricio. And Ronnie's hit streak just keeps on going, and he gets aboard for the 3rd time here in this game. He's now hitting .408 on the season. Brings up Grant Wolfram. Or, Grant Wolfram's the new pitcher, rather. New pitcher, Grant Wolfram, brings up Tyrone Taylor. Mauricio steals seconds. All right, my thinking good is starting to get busted here. That is a strikeout called, or a swung at strike 3. I'm just gonna get silent and let these guys play for a minute while I get my head back on straight. All right, Lindor pops up to the catcher. That's 2 down. Still a runner on first, or on second. Bo Bichette comes up to the plate. He got a home run earlier tonight. And he's going to get a knock here. That is 2 hits in a row for Bo Bichette. Advances Mauricio to home. Gets him to score. That is an RBI single. I was not expecting him to make it home from second. But being proved the fool once again. A wild pitch gets Bo Bichette over to third. And Simeon now at the plate with a runner 90 feet from home. In a 10-2 game, that runner hopefully doesn't mean anything. If it turns out that we need that guy home to win the game, we're in some trouble. He is going to get home on the wild pitch. So Soto now still at the plate, 2 outs. Runner still in scoring position. Looks at a full count pitch. And Soto draws the walk. The inning just keeps going here in the 6th for the New York Mets as Luis Torrens comes to the plate. 242 hitter. He's got 3 homers and 10 RBIs. First pitch here is another wild pitch. Boy, these Miami Marlins are just having the hardest time here in this 3-game series against us. Torrens now 2 in scoring position, looks at another full count, and he is going to, good defensive play by the second baseman, steals those RBIs from him. But Mets still get 2 more. It is 11-2 now as we go to the bottom of the 6th. David Peterson looking for another quality start here if he can get 3 more outs. And he does get Marcy to fly out to left. That is 1 down. Kyle Stowers to the plate. Is he the one that hit the home run? Yep, he homered earlier. He's going to walk this time. Peterson played it safe, and that's probably smart. That is going to do it for David Peterson after 5 1/3. So Alex Lange comes in. 2.93 ERA so far, 18 strikeouts in 15 innings. He has got 1 on here in the 2nd as he tries to keep this 11-2 lead intact. He walks Rowdy Tellez. brings up Nick Solak, and that was a beautiful fastball, strike 3. 2 gone now. Connor Norby comes to the plate. Norby first pitch, he swings at this one, and it is going to die in right field. Lange comes in, walks 1, gets the next 2. We are now headed to the 7th, still 11-2, New York Mets. All right, there is Christian Pache flying out to left, so he's still hitless today. Nato comes to the plate, 1 for 3 on the night. Looks at a full count and draws the walk. Good professional at bat for Nolan Arenado. Brings up Ronnie Mauricio. And he is not going to be perfect today. He was a double away from the cycle. Not going to get it on that one. He might have another chance late in this one. As Tyrone Taylor lines to third, so there is the third out there. We're heading to the 7th inning stretch. Lange still on the mound against Flores. He grounds out to second. 1 down for the Mets here in the bottom of the 7th. Full count pitch to Matan. And he goes... No, they're going to call that strike 3. 2 strikeouts now for Alex Lange. He has pitched 26. He's thrown 26 pitches. They're going to give him Joe Mack here at least. See if he can get us out of the 7th. There's a good ground ball to Simeon, and that's going to get it done. Alex Lange comes in and pitches 1 2/3. Good innings for us. Robbie Schnelling still on the plate, on the mound, as Lindor pops this one up to second. Easy 1 out. Brings up Bo Bichette. 1-2 pitch. And Bichette swings at that fastball, strike 3. So 2 down early on here for the Mets in the 8th inning. Brings up Marcus Simeon. Nobody on 2 outs. He looks at a 1-0 pitch, and he's going to get this one into right field, but Stowers is there to make the play. So Mets go down in order in the 8th. Brian Hudson comes in, a 6.0 ERA in 6 innings. That has not been good. He struck out 9, walked 6. Let's see if he can... This is a good moment for Hudson to come in and maybe get his head straight. You don't want him in a close game, but if he starts sliding a little bit here, we've got a few runs of insurance. We can pull him before it starts to get bad. He does give up the 1-out double to Xavier Edwards, pinch hitting there. So the Miami Marlins now have a runner in scoring position. Stowers to the plate. It's got a home run earlier tonight. One was lined to first, and Bichette easily makes the play. Brings up Rowdy Tellez. Got a 1-0 pitch here, and he's going to ground this to Simeon. So the double is all that Hudson gives up there in the 8th. We are headed to the top of the 9th. It is still 11-2 Mets. Soto is going to send this one into left field, but Ruiz is out there to make the play. Brings up Luis Torrens. 0-2 pitch. He fights this one into left field, and that is another out for Ruiz, getting his steps in this inning. 254. Christian Pache is hitting this year. He's got 1 home run so far. So a 1-2 pitch in the 9th here, and he's going to get that one down. Pache gets a 2-out single. Another big hit for him against Josh White. Brings up Nolan Arenado. See what you got, Nato. And that is going to be tracked down in right field. So not a 1 hit this game, but it was a home run. But that should be it for the Mets. Did Mauricio? No. He was the next batter. We needed 1 person to get on for Ronnie to try and hit for a double and get the cycle. And all the times I've played out of the park, I had somebody throw a perfect game for me once. I've never had anybody hit for the cycle. You would think the cycle would be easier, but I've just never had it happen, and we are going to be a batter away from having it this time, if he could have even gotten it. And Brian Hudson comes out, gets the first 2 here in the 9th. It is the final out for Flores. He fights this one into right field. Hudson comes in, throws 2 innings, scoreless, and he had a pretty good outing. 2 strikeouts, no walks, only gave up the double. Not too bad. Peterson also not bad. Not a quality start. He only went 5 1/3, but 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. It could have been worse for sure. Braxton Garrett got abused here. 7 earned runs, 1 strikeout in 2 2/3 inning. Ronnie Mauricio, our player of the game for sure. All right, let's just go check on Carson Benj down here. We had him up. He played 24 games, started 21 of them, but yeah, he was hitting 132 by the time we sent him down. On base percentage, less than 20%. We just couldn't get him. He's doing better in AAA, 225, still not maybe what he should be hitting. I mean, that's his AAA stats right there. You would expect him to be closer to 300. We're going to leave him here for a few months and see if he can get that up and maybe get himself going. You'd want to see a 120 OPS, yeah, for Benj for sure. At least over 1,000 easily. So poor Ronnie, poor Benj. We gave him a chance in last year's Out of the Park. He was fantastic for me. So I was all about Carson Benj starting for us here. I had him from day one, but he just couldn't do it. And for that matter, Nato is still kind of on the edge. I hate benching him, but don't know how long we can keep him hitting below 200. Roberts comes back in 2 days for us, so we'll have to make a decision. Nato is at least going to play the next 2, and then we're going to find out. Got an hour. Could be a bad short-term variance, yeah. And that's kind of what I was hoping. I mean, we left him in for about a month, and then pulled him out. But we'll see around July, somewhere in here. We'll see if we're ready to bring him back. Still got a little bit of time. Let's play out one more against Cincinnati, and then we'll sim the rest of this, and we'll see how the end of the month goes. I don't want to end stream too early here tonight, so we have a little bit of time. What do we got? Sean Manaea is on the mound. He's been okay for us the last couple. 3.70 ERA is a little bit high, a 1-5 record, but he's really been all right for us in the couple of innings he's pitched. On the other side, Chase Burns, 4.30 ERA. He does have a 1-1 whip, so he's not letting runners on base very often. He's also 10 strikeouts per 9. Not too bad. All right, Manaea against Friedel. We are back home at Citi Field at least. Good to be home after that 6-game road trip that we had. Maybe ship Arenado back to Colorado. He could hit some home runs if he was in Colorado, that's for sure. I'll tell you, I was mad when they sent him out of Colorado. So real life me would be happy to see him come back. But I think we like him. He's a good leader at any rate. Having just a veteran leader on the roster is always good. Manaea gives up 2 runners and then strikes out the last 2. Gets out of trouble there. We are headed to the bottom of the first. Lindor leading us off. He's going to get another leadoff hit. I'm telling you. I think that he gets on in that leadoff position more often than he gets out. We generally have a base runner starting off every game. And we score in the first inning quite a lot because of it. Been liking Francisco Lindor's production so far. Bichette also gets on. He's only hitting 245 is Lindor, but that one hit a game that he gets is always the leadoff, the game hit. Brett Beatty comes in. He's hitting 264, and that is respectable. If Beatty can hit 264, we're going to be very happy. He looks at an 0-2. He's going to strike out this time swinging, but I feel like that 260 batting average. Brings up Juan Soto. He's got 2 on. He's hitting 306 for the season, 13 home runs. He has got a chance for a few more RBIs here. That one is not going to get it done, however. The infield fly is going to be in effect. So 2 down now for the Mets. Brings up Francisco Alvarez, the 256 hitter. He shows a little bit of patience there, draws the walk, loads the bases up for Mark Vientos, who is playing in third base tonight in place of Nolan Arenado. Speaking of, he's hitting 209. He has not been great, and he is not great here as he strikes out. Mets leave him loaded. We are headed to the second inning, still scoreless. Manaea is still throwing darts as he strikes out Bleday to lead off the second here. And Steer is going to ground out to second. Manaea's been giving up some home runs. So at some point, we can expect a deep ball. All we can hope is that the bases are empty when it happens. Tyrone Taylor comes in. He's hitting 197 this year. He's going to fly this one into center field. That is over the fielder's head. There is a leadoff extra base hit for Tyrone Taylor. He gets on the second base. Brings up Christian Pache, hitting 260. 8 RBIs. Chance for number 9 right here. He's given the walk, and he takes it. So a good at-bat for Christian Pache. Ernie Clement comes to the plate. 270 off the bench. He's been hitting for us. He's got 2 on. No outs, no ground balls here, Clement. Come on, man. You can't ground into a double play there. But he is hitting at the bottom of our order, so what do you expect? We're going back to the top of the order. Francisco Lindor comes in. Still just 17 RBIs, but he does have a runner on third. Looks at a full count pitch, and he's going to drop this one into shallow right field. That will bring the run home. And the Mets, here in the second, take a 1-0 lead. Bichette back to the plate. He's gotten his average back over 300 with a few hits these last couple of at-bats. He won't get one here as he grounds into the fielder's choice, but the Mets do get one, and Minaya comes out on the mound with the lead for the first time. There's going to be a ground ball to shortstop on Trevino, so 1 down here in the third. 1-2 pitch to Friedel. He flies, or pops this one to shortstop. Looked like that was going into left field there for a minute, but Lindor was the one to make the play. 2 down here in the third, and Minaya looking good so far. He gets low to strike out. That is 3 innings, no hits for Sean Minaya. He has walked 2, so there's no perfect game, but he's got a no-hitter brewing. 9 outs into this one as Brett Beatty swings at strike 3, brings up Juan Soto. Base is empty, 1 out. And Soto's going to fly this one into left field. That is 2 gone for the Mets here in the third inning. Francisco Alvarez comes to the plate. 1-2 pitch. And Alvarez strikes out. So 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. We're headed to the fourth, clinging to a 1-0 lead. That ball is hit deep. Minaya, we knew that 1 was going to be given up, at least potentially 2 or 3. Gives that one up, but the bases were empty, so that is the good news. Eugenio Suarez to the plate. Looks at an 0-2 pitch and gets that one to paint the corners. Strike 3. 2 down, or 1 down, I guess. McLean to the plate. Thought that he had a couple more than that before he gave up the home run, but it turns out that was a leadoff home run. JJ Bleday to the plate now, hitting 196 on the season. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He pops this one up. Notto's going to make the play easily enough. So, Cincinnati ties it up on that solo home run from Marte. And we are headed to the bottom of the fourth, 1-0. Vientos leading off. He's going to swing at strike 3. 1 down, brings up Tyrone Taylor. He's going to get this into center field, but the center fielder will make the play. And that is 2 down for the Mets. Too bad they couldn't build around Arenado and Story when they were in their prime. Yeah, didn't they have LeMahieu at that time too? Yeah, Story, Arenado, and LeMahieu at the same time. LeMahieu left in free agency, and it's possible Arenado was going to do the same, and that's why they traded him. But, goddamn, they traded him for nothing. And it was upsetting. I live in the Denver market, so, and Blackman. I'm a huge Charlie Blackman fan as well. EJ Friedel comes to the plate. Charlie Blackman! There was a little kid that was on the news like 10 years ago or so that was like a Charlie Blackman fan. Every time he came on the TV, he'd scream. He was like 2 or 3 years old. They did a human interest story with him. So I always think, Charlie Blackman! That kid used to say. Could have been a good team. They just didn't all mature at the same time. They didn't all kind of come around at the same time. Unfortunately. Oh, and that's going to get down out there as Beatty misplays that one. That's going to do it for Sean Manaea. He's gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run on that home run. Not a bad outing, but there is a little bit of danger here now as the go-ahead run is in scoring position with no outs in the 6th. AJ Minter's going to come in and try and keep this tie. He does get Marte to fly out. Minter's a 1.42 ERA so far in the year. Struck out 10 in 12 innings, so been having a pretty good year. He started the season on the injured reserve. So he's had a little bit of a short outing, but he comes and walks the next 2 batters to load this one up for Bleday. 1 out, bases loaded. Big strikeout there with that fastball painting the edge. Minter gets the 2nd out here, so he is 1 out away from getting out of trouble. And he gets Steer to strike out looking. Big couple of strikeouts for AJ Minter. Gets the Mets out of the 6th inning. Blackmon was a legendary player. He was so good in his prime. Yeah, Charlie Blackmon was so good. He won the champion with the Mets. The Rockies should offer me a real live job. Yeah. If I managed the Rockies, they would be exactly as good as they are right now. As much fun as I have playing out of the park, I at least know enough about my limitations to know. I couldn't do any worse than they're doing, for sure, but I don't know that I could do better as Soto strikes out on that changeup off the edge. Brings up Alvarez, 1-2 pitch. He's going to ground this one to the shortstop. Mets go down in order in the 6th. Headed to the 7th. Score still tied. Arroyo is coming up to the plate, and Brazoban, Oscar Brazoban, is the pitcher for the New York Mets. 3.10 ERA, got 16 strikeouts and 14 walks. He has not been very good. It's kind of the way it is for our entire bullpen, though. I mean, there aren't many arms coming out of the pen that we're thinking we want to keep around long term. And Brazoban is definitely one that, at least early on, we don't have long-term plans for. He does get 1, 2, 3 there, so easy 7th inning. Chase Burns is still in. He's only thrown 89 pitches through 6th inning. He struck out 8, walked 2, and he has got Mark Vientos leading off in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch, Vientos pops this one up to left field. That is 1 easy out. Tyrone Taylor comes to the plate. Looks at a first pitch here. Again, swinging. So Chase Burns, 2 pitches later, he's got 2 outs. The Mets not showing much patience here in the 7th inning. Pache at least makes him throw a couple before striking out. The Mets go down in order again in the 7th. We are headed to the 8th. It is tied 1-1. Brazoban comes in for his 4th batter and gets him to pop out to 3rd. That is the first out here in the 8th inning. Full count now to Marte, and that one misses inside. 11 pitch walk there drawn by Marte. A good major league at bats. Puts the go-ahead run on first. A little comebacker to the mound. Rayleigh gets it, a 1-4-3 double play. Don't see that often. We've seen it in each of the last 2 games here so far. We are headed now to the bottom of the 8th. Ernie Clement is leading off for us. New pitcher, Graham Ashcraft. And welcome a new pitcher, because their starter had us tied up all game. Ashcraft, though, a 1.32 ERA, 16 strikeouts in 13 innings. He may not be an improvement for us here. As Clement, leadoff, flies this one in the center. And there is 1 down in the 8th. Brings up Francisco Lindor, 2-2 pitch. He pops this one up to 2nd. I guess to shortstop. It looked like that one was going to die at 2nd, but got it all the way to the outfield. Still is 2 outs. Brings up Bo Bichette. Good time for him to hit his 13th home run right here. He's not going to quite get it. That one dies in center field. Mets go in order the last 3 innings. They've gone in order. The Reds have got 9 outs in a row. Devin Williams comes up to the plate, or comes up on the mound. Our closer. Going to try and keep this tie to the bottom of the inning. See if Soto can maybe walk us off. He does strike out the first 2. Former Rocky Michael Toglia comes to the plate. Speaking of the Rockies, he is looking at a 3-1 pitch. And he rockets this one into right field. So, Colorado alum showing up here in this one with a 2-out single on that pinch hit. There's now a runner on. 2 outs. Edwin Arroyo is at the plate. 1-2 pitch, and Edwin Diaz, because it's always Edwin Diaz. It's not anymore. Devin Williams gets the strikeout. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. It is still tied. Brett Baty comes up to the plate against Graham Ashcroft. 2-2 pitch. Baty gets a hold of that. It is deep, and that is a walk-off home run from Brett Baty. In the bottom of the 9th, more late-game heroics. We're going to have to go back and look because the Mets have won quite a few games in the bottom of the 9th here in May, at least. Maybe not all season, but in May they've won quite a few. Devin Williams is going to get the win on this one. 2.87 ERA. It's way too high for the closer here, but it's not too bad. Rayleigh gave us 2 good outs here. Brazoban actually not bad. He did walk 1, but no hits in 1 1/3. And Minaya, not a bad outing. He gave up the home run. We were expecting it, but he kept it close enough that we could get that win. Brett Baty, clutch. No kidding. I mean, he started this season. Where are we looking? BNN page. Let's go here. We can see in April, he was hitting 174. So far in May, he's hitting 296. So he has turned it around in a big way. And we are glad to see that, especially because Vientos still kind of down. We did pull Vientos out of the starting lineup, so he hasn't had much chance to turn it around. But we're happy to see Brett Baty starting to hit that ball. For sure. Let's finish today. So we're going to just sim these next 5 games. We're going to sim 1, and then I think we're going to get Roberts back. Yes. Fantastic. There was a win. I didn't want that. Another good win. Can I see the box score? That's what I'm looking for. Another good win. Peterson, another bad outing. 4 innings pitched. 4 earned runs, 3-3. So that's 2. Scorecard 52. I thought it said his scorecard was 31. That backwards. No, he was playing he's playing Cincinnati. Is the Cincinnati not showing up here? I don't know what's going on right there. But either way, like his game log. Yeah, Cincinnati's not showing up right there, but not a good outing that time. Did do well enough to get the win. Williams does get the save. New York Mets. Oh, I'm clicking. That's the wrong game. That's why I'm confused. I clicked that one. There we go. There we go. McLean was pitching. I can get myself in the right spot. And he pitched well. 5 innings, no earned runs, struck out 7, walked 2. Our rookie had a pretty decent outing here. That is the 9th save for Devin Williams, it turns out. We did not need 9th inning heroics to get this one, as the Mets shut him out 3-0. Read our important message here. This is the Draft League roster selection deadline. Doesn't affect us. We'll come here. All right, so with Roberts coming back, somebody's got to go off our roster here. Mauricio was the last one on, so it would be argued he'd be the first one out. But with this offensive stat line, albeit through 50 at-bats and 15 games, that is still hard to send down to the minor leagues. I would say we would have to waive Vientos if we were going to send him back down. And I'd hate to waive him because I don't think that this is going to be the norm for him. I think he's going to be a little bit better than this. That said, he's only 233 last year, 266 in his first year. Vientos has not been good. Tyrone Taylor is another really good choice, especially because we're getting a he was playing left field for us, so we'd be getting a left fielder back. So Taylor is kind of the odd man out, and he has not been good either. The problem with Taylor is he can refuse. So the options are trade Taylor away. It's nice having him for his defense at least, if another injury comes in. But yeah, his stat line would definitely suggest he's the one to go. Beatty's been doing well lately, so it's not going to be him. Nato also can refuse to be demoted, so it won't be him. We do have Clement. Hasn't been great. We could waive him and send him down. That would mean Mauricio has to pick up the slack and play second and shortstop. Play the backup. And I don't think he's got enough to play either of those positions. So, our options now. Let's see if there's anything being offered for Taylor. Yeah, he's extra. He's more than we need with those two. I agree. And his stat line, he's a good player. His stat line has not earned him a roster spot, really. Kyle Freeland, 2 years, $16 million. What is your contract? He comes up at the end of the year. I don't think I want this. Another starting pitcher wouldn't be bad, but not Kyle Freeland for sure. 2 home runs. Playing in Coors Fields, it's going to be a little bit high, but 2 is still way too high. Art hits almost a third of those balls. To try to retain some of it. Get back to here. Because what I was thinking is when Roberts comes back, what we can do is move Bichette back to third, where he plays in real life, and then we can drop Ronnie into first, who is also kind of extra. I mean, Vientos we could move down because I guess Beatty's here, but Beatty could back up these. But now we've got Nolan Arenado, who could come in, theoretically. Where are you at, Nato? There you are. I hate having him as the backup, but hitting 175 for us, he's almost 200 on the season, but since we brought him over, 175 and 154 at-bats. I mean, we got to pull him out, right? And Mauricio can definitely play first base with these skills. He doesn't know how yet, really, but it's an easy enough position. He can learn it. I think that upgrades our offense. Taylor would be the one that came out over here, but he could back up. Taylor would be the backup. One, two, three. And then right here would be Roberts. So that kind of leaves Vientos as the odd one out. What do we think the odds are? I hate to waive Vientos. Making the league minimum. He's going to arbitration. He's been really bad, so maybe nobody will put a claim on him. But if they did, that said, we just might not need him. Let's see. Ratio should get more offers. 25 and a smaller contract could ship both out. Oh, Mauricio could get... You think trade Ronnie Mauricio? You think we should see what we can get for this kid? I mean, we would probably get more offers for him, that's sure. Good leader, good work ethic. If he becomes our... I mean... You gotta figure he's not gonna hit 400 all season, but if he hits in the high 200s, that might be a little bit optimistic with his ratings here. Probably gonna hit a pretty big slump here pretty soon and start hitting closer to 230. still, he does have enough to play first. Pair him with Taylor, make a team more likely to eat Taylor's contracts. If we did that, if we shipped Ronnie out, that would mean Bichette still plays first. Well, yeah, we could do Bichette. You know, we could do Bichette third and Beatty first. He's got no experience at first base, but he could play it. I guess this is good enough to play third as well. Do you have experience at third? He does. Could do that and Beatty here. We could try to ship Vientos out. It would be better to trade Vientos than have someone claim him off the waiver wire. That is sure. He's good at second and third. I don't think Beatty's got the range to play second. Infield range at 50 and error at 55. I don't think that's enough range for second, but he's got enough for third, and he's got an arm that could play third for sure. So I think Beatty could do third base. And then we'd have his bat in. And his bat's going pretty well. It would get Nato's bat out, so our offense should get a boost. The new guy would go here. You know, we could put Ronnie in right field, I guess, if we did that. Ronnie's right field. The Roberts is left field. Taylor's backing up. Ronnie is not an arm to play right field, actually. His arm is too weak. He's not really enough to play second. Does have enough to play third. What's his infield arm? 60. So, you know, we could put Ronnie third. Keep Beatty in right field. Bichette still first. His arm is a 60 in the outfield, so he can definitely play right field. And that just leaves us with still who do we get rid of? And I guess... what would they offer for Vientos? We could add Taylor to it to get that $3 million off, but he isn't bad as a backup, at least. We could do that. Anything here that makes sense? What are we really even looking for? And I'm always looking for a good defensive shortstop, but it's not this guy. Jesus. Doesn't even have any ability. There's Goldschmidt. Cooper Bowman at second. No, not really. Barrel 7%. Run value is at the 91 percentile, so that's not bad. He does strike out twice as much as he walks. Cortez, a left fielder. Could play left field for sure. He avoids the K's. He doesn't get much BABIP. His on base so far in AAA is high, but much we can trust that. Do you have any, you want to offer any multiple players? Is there anything we can do here? I don't think I like this. And that's the end of it, yeah. Not really any multiple players. I mean, Giovanni Rodriguez is a pretty solid arm anyway. He's not a great defensive catcher. If his bat develops, he should be good. And he's got good, I mean, all three of what we like over here, so. Tyler Freeman? Were they offering me Tyler Freeman? Where you at, Tyler? Tyler Zuber. Tyler Freeman. There's Tyler Freeman. He can definitely play second. He's got a pretty decent contract. And pretty good. If we did that, I mean, that's not terrible. I feel like his bat, he's fairly young. So let's think about it then. We've got Clement right now who's backing things up. Who we got off the waiver wire. Where are you, Ernie Clements? He's a little bit better on the contact, avoid Ks and gap power, so slightly better. More batting for balls in play. Defensively, he's a better infielder for sure. So that's good defense. He's a little bit older here. Better in the outfields. Actually, fairly similar. Their defense, he's good enough defensively for sure. We could do that. We could send Clement down to the minors. I think that we can still... I mean, if somebody claimed him, I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world. It'd be better than just losing Vientos, for sure. He does have to be waived, but he doesn't have the right to refuse. Means a captain. I think he's a good leader. He's getting old, and he does have this huge contract for several years. I do want to get rid of this contract. I don't know if it's too early to do it now. But we could move Simeon out, especially if we brought in Tyler Freeman. Where are you at, Vientos? Let's see. Just take a look over here. Let's real quick, let's see what's on the waiver wire, just in case there's something here that we need. Jake McCartney, Nick Allen is out here, and that is a defensive guy right here. I think... And he hasn't been having a good season, but man, doesn't have much of a bat, that is for sure. I love shortstops that can do this, and we're going to need someone behind Lindor when he's gone. Hard to say no to that. I'm going to claim him, and we'll just decide what happens with him later, but I want to at least put in a claim on this one. Palante is here. Home runs allowed is pretty good. Been walking quite a few, as you would expect. You can't platoon them, they're both right-handers. Simeon's a righty as well. So that would be, at least in that regard, a lateral move. Yeah, I think we want to claim this guy because I like his defense. He doesn't have much offense, but at least at center field, I'm fine with it. Still no speed. Good base runner, but nobody out here with speed. Let's take a look at the player trade once again. Colorado Rockies, they're rebuilding. We had the offer for Tyler Freeman. Where are you at, Tyler? Are you in the minor leagues? It's Karros, who's been doing all right in spring training, at least. There he is, Tyler Freeman. And on this side, we've got Mark Vientos. Can we add Simeon? No, we'd have to retain some of the money. There's Amador right there. Is there anyone here? Good old Hunter Goodman. Tovar. Looking, is there someone here that might have a contract we can take on to even this out a little bit? I just don't think the Rockies have enough space to eat Simeon's contract, unfortunately. But wonder about Craig Kimbrell, though. Can you eat this one? Oh, the thing is, I do want to get Kimbrell off this roster. He's not been great for us. Or is it 3 home runs in 16 innings? That is definitely way too bad. But he is cheap. He's going to be gone next year. And we don't have another pitcher to put in there, so I don't know if we really can do that. This might be the best we can get. Santos isn't super popular, is he? Well known. Should be fine. We don't want to tank our team's excitement, our, enthusiasm. What's Doyle's contract here? Just $3 million? I mean, that's a really good outfielder. I'll give you Taylor. Someone a player who contribute? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All the Rockies contracts are bad. You would have to take Chris Bryant. Hey, Sick Nate is showing up 2 in a row. How you doing, Sick Nate? Trying to make room to get Roberts back on our roster. Trying to decide if we want to give up Mark Vientos for Tyler Freeman. Neither have been great. Well, Freeman's been doing okay so far through 70 at-bats. He is younger. I think that it is going to be an upgrade. His defense is good enough anyways. We throw Clement out here. We throw Clement, then they're not wanting it. So that makes sense. I'm going to take it. I think we do that. Freeman is a good leader as well, so players are going to like it. Santos is gone, and with that, I think we waive Clemens. That doesn't really get us ahead of the game, though, does it? Let's see. We do this. I can put Freeman on, but we still are now... no, we're not, because we traded a guy, huh? We'll put Freeman on, and now we can get Roberts over. All right. It's been done. Shut your eyes. Whatever happens, happens. We made the move. No looking back now. I am going to put Roberts still in left field. I think that, I mean, he's good enough to play center, but Pache is definitely the better player out there. So put Roberts in left field. Beatty is fine to play right field. I think that's okay. Tyler Freeman will back us up here. A 65 range. Doesn't really have the arm to play shortstop, but I think he's good enough. I think he'll be acceptable. Then we do the same thing here. What did we do over here? Because we got Nato out by putting Mauricio at third, at least for now. And I think there's going to come a time when Ronnie's not hitting like he is now. When that happens, we might put Nolan back in. But for the next few games, it is maybe not good strategy to start changing up your roster while you're on a winning streak. But it's been done. And Taylor's the backup. We do have Beatty backing these ones up. I guess that's fine. Beatty's not in our lineup right now, though, is he? He is right field here. Okay, he's right field. Taylor's right field against the lefties because Beatty's a left hitter. So I think that's fine. We'll just let Beatty play against the righties. Taylor's the defensive sub. If Beatty's in, that'll be fine. I think Beatty still plays center field here if Pache's tired, although we could let Roberts do it, but kind of 6-1. He's got the stronger arm, so all right. Let's sim these last 4 games. We'll check our minor league situation for a minute. Check some of our oh, there's Nick Allen. Check some of our stats, see where we're looking, and call it a night. All right, so Nick Allen is here now because of that defense. We are going to want him potentially next year. How many years do we think Lindor's got? He's 32. He's already starting to slip a little bit. Doesn't really have the arm. Lindor could play. I mean, do we trade Francisco Lindor? He could play first and he can play designated hitter, but if we've got Soto in, I guess Soto could just move back to left field and we could have Lindor designate hits, and Roberts could be the backup, and then Taylor, we could try and move Tyrone Taylor again. At any rate, we've got 7 days. I'm not going to think about it tonight. We've got 7 days to decide, and there's only 4 days left. So we'll do that when we come back. Let's get to the end of this month, so we can definitely get it before stream ends. Loss here in Game 1 against the Marlins twice. Oh no, Peterson, 4 days. You're fine. We didn't lose him. That took 11 innings. We got the win. Take a look at our win here. Mets are still, we are 8 games over 500 here. We were, I think, 5 under 500 at one point. We've turned it around nicely at any rate. Peterson, he only went 4 2/3, struck out 3, walked 1. Brazoban, another good outing for you. Tong, not terrible. Williams didn't come in for the close. I guess it was tied because Rayleigh got the win, but not terrible. Lindor 1 for 3. Pache was 0 for. Roberts 0 for. He's been in a slump though. Hopefully he gets out of that. Mauricio went 1 for 3. He's hitting 373 still. Bichette was 0 for, so not great. Poor hit day for the Mets, but we did win at 1-0 in extra, and that's all that matters. Get this last one in here. All right, Peralta got pitcher of the month, actually. He was definitely better this month than last month. Bo Bichette's contact has dropped. That's not great. Gap is dropped. His bat is getting worse, so it's going to make it easier for us to decide if we're trading him at the trade deadline if he starts sliding. Still is a very good offensive player here, but yeah, if he starts sliding, then that's going to be a decision maker. Peralta wins pitcher of the month. He struck out 31, walked 5. That's a pretty good ratio. 148 inning for the month, 115 batting average. If we look at the National League, we still have Bichette leading off with the second base votes, even though he's playing first base now. Lindor still at shortstop. Of course, PCA is the center fielder. That is expected. Jordan Beck for the Rockies. And pitchers, Peralta is still on the list. Devin Williams has moved up a little bit in the voting. All right, where am I after? Let's just check our pitchers real quick. How are you guys doing so far? We've got, Hudson and Kimbrel are still kind of our worst. Tong also from a WAR standpoint, and 2.1 home runs per game, 1.9 for Kimbrel. So these guys have been giving up some home runs. Brazoban is basically 1-1. So is Lange. We claimed him off waivers. He has not. Didn't want that one. He's not been great. He's not been terrible. He's been better for us than he was for KC at the very least. 154 BABIP. But yeah, strikeouts to walk. Same. Hasn't given up any home runs for us yet, and that's kind of huge. On the other side, Brooks Raley and Senga have been really just a couple of these here have been on point. Even our rookie 3.5 down to Sean Manaea. So we've got a couple that are looking pretty good in that regard. If we look, check out the FIP minus here and just see how well our defense is bailing people out, because Senga here, his FIP is actually a little bit, the defense is letting him down a little bit. Rayleigh's been about even. Defense is bailing Devin Williams out in a big way. They're letting McLean down just a little bit. And look at Peterson. He's loving his defense. Peralta, the 389. I mean, we've got some good Sierras going on here as well. I want to look at the other stat for our pitchers real quick. I like to see their quality starts here. Nobody has had more than half of their starts be quality starts. We've got a couple that have had 5 and 12. Senga, Peterson, and Peralta, the veterans. Manaea is also a veteran, but he's only had a third. And then our rookie, 2 and 11 starts. Not great. So we're not going deep into innings, and that is definitely hurting our bullpen. We look over here. Look at the meltdowns here. Kimbrel, 5 and 5. We've got to get rid of him somehow. I mean, his contract is up at the end of the season, so he's going to be gone next year regardless. But if we can move him before then, I just don't know who would want to take him at this point. Even though we're paying him the league minimum, he still isn't worth it. But Rayleigh, 11 and 4. Williams, 12 and 2. Those are good ratios. Lane just 3 and 1. He's only had one meltdown so far. He's been pretty good for us. Look at Minter at 5 and 0. So we've had a couple of bullpen arms actually doing pretty good. It feels worse, but that's probably because Kimbrel keeps blowing some things, and Brascoban here, 4 and 2. Tong is 3 and 2. So we've had a couple. Even Hudson is 0 for 1. So a couple of good ones and quite a few bad ones. Brascoban here has blown 2 of his saves, but these guys, Rayleigh's even got 100% save rates. Look at our hitters here. Let's check a WAR real quick. Soto, of course, number 1, and then a pretty big drop-off to Bichette, Lindor, and Alvarez. Mauricio is at 1.0. Coming in off the bench to have a 1.0 WAR is not bad. Robert's the only negative batter, and he's missed the last month. So he's also been in a bit of a slump. We'll see if that turns around. If it does not, we're going to pull him out. I mean, he is hitting better than Tyrone Taylor technically. So I guess it's 6 of 1 here, really. But we can pull him out if he doesn't start hitting over this next month, at the very least. Check our BABIP here. Of course, Nato is the worst on that one. Mauricio, almost 500 for balls in play. He's just been insane since we called him up. There's no way we can send him back down with that offensive stat line. A lot of them hitting over 300 if they get contact. Torrens and Alvarez are pretty close. Only these couple down here are not performing like we want them to. Who do we need to keep an eye on in our minor leagues? There's Carson Bench down here, still hitting 226. Played as many minor league games as he played major league, so he is doing a little bit better, but he needs to do even more better. We've also got AJ Ewing down here. We tried him in AAA for a little while. He wasn't terrible. He's definitely needing to be promoted. I guess we can try bringing him back up and see if he does a little bit better. But I don't want him to be struggling up there in AAA. Send him back up. If we do that, then we'll send maybe Dustin Harris. Must have a minor league signing. I went through and released a bunch of people, but then the AI always goes back and hires them back to keep the numbers up. He must have been one of those. He's doing okay. I think we'll drop Bay back down into AA. I think he'll have some success down there. What else have we got here? Usually I lock the people I want to keep an eye on, so should be fairly easy to find unless I've missed someone. There's Calvin Ziegler, who might be at least good enough. I don't know, 35 is kind of borderline to be a relief pitcher, I think, but if he develops here, he might just make the Major League roster as a reliever. Nate Lavender, also no control. We've got some people down here that just do not have control. Are there any pitchers here to keep an eye on for us? There's Christian Scott, who pitched for the Mets a couple of years ago and did okay. Didn't he pitch into 23 as well? Might be thinking of somebody else. Pintaro pitched for us this year a little bit and was not doing too well, but down in the minors, he's having a bit more success through 12 innings. A 142 is not much better, but he's got his home runs way down. About the same on the walks, so we'll let him pitch here a little bit more. I think he can probably make the roster this year if his control comes up, but we were just a little bit early on him so far. Check just high A out here. There's Joel Diaz, who we're hoping he might be able to do something. I think that his movement is going to need to improve more than our scout thinks it will before we can really have a shot, but we're still hopeful. We've got Pena, a good young second. He's got to be second base with that arm. He's got so much range. I want to put him at shortstop, but I just don't think that arm and that error can do it, but he should have a pretty good bat. I think that I want to keep an eye on... Come here. There it is. I think I want to keep an eye on Pena as we move forward. I overlooked him earlier. In St. Lucie, down towards the lower ones, let's just see who our scout likes. He's definitely not a shortstop. He's almost not even a second baseman. I bet you can get away with a 45 arm at second base. He's still 16. Hopefully that develops. He's probably going to end up being an outfielder. That could be definitely a right fielder. We'll let him keep playing at shortstop down here in the minors, but we'll keep an eye on you. I want to make sure I don't accidentally hit release. That is exactly what I would do. There's Randy Guzman. I had him in our 26 save, and he did really good. We'll see if this one develops a little bit. I'm not going to lock him, however. I think that is pretty much all we need to look at down here. There's no big prospects there. I wanted to say there's Matt Harvey, but obviously it's not Matt Harvey. He's dead and gone. But I see M. Harvey, and immediately... Well, they got some options out there, but no big splashes, it looks like, coming in. We do have a guy that our scout found earlier who's got potentially great control, and that's kind of it. So our feeder leagues need a lot of work, but it's still early days. All right, well, Mets now, we are still 4 games out of first place from where we started. Got a schedule here. From where we started, we were 11-15 in April, so 14-17. We were 3 games under. To be 20-8 in May, that is a hell of a turnaround. I'm going to take full credit for that. So that was my decisions going through, and we are 4 games out of first place. Very well could happen. Soto has crept in on the OPS. He's having a pretty good year at DH, and Peterson has not been terrible as one of our starting pitchers. He's definitely been one of our more consistent wins above replacement. Senga, and in the weighted runs allowed, he's also up there. So we've got a couple of people on the leaderboard. We're looking pretty good. And I'm feeling better about the season than I was at the end of April, at the very least. I always like checking the waiver wire just to make sure. Manuel Rodriguez. Not having a good year this year. He was okay last year. He's only 29. We're paying him $1 million. We don't know enough about him here to really know how he's doing. have good stuff. We've got a pretty good defense. Our scout doesn't have very high scouting ratings on him, though, so that could be wrong. Still, less than 1 whip. That home run's allowed. Do 7 innings. That might be a bit too high. That's gonna scare me off, but you wouldn't think that would continue with his movement rating here, but maybe our scout's wrong. That's not even my scout. How did I get switched to OSA? Oh no. What bad decisions have I been making because I was on the wrong scout? Our scout does not feel quite as highly about him, and I guess that does check out a little bit. Vesta, kind of the same thing. Yeah, our scout does not like him. He's giving up home runs. You're definitely not coming over, so I don't think we're going to get anybody. I think that we're going to call it there. All right, so I'm going to play between streams and get us through June. And we'll pick back up probably a couple of games into July. Maybe we'll start at KC. That's the player draft. So we'll do this on stream next time. And we'll try and get ourselves to the trade deadline. We'll have to probably sim a couple of games to get that, but we'll get those ones next time. That said, we're going to be tomorrow. We're not going to do this one. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to play tomorrow, but tomorrow and Wednesday, we'll do something else, and we'll pick this one up again Friday. So, I want to give me some time to get through here, because schedules can get hectic. So we'll pick this one up Friday, a little bit advanced, and see how things are looking. Cobra, thanks for coming out and watching. And Sick Nate, 2 in a row. Thanks for the sub Blue Bear 8 pairs, and thanks to everyone for coming out. I will be back tomorrow doing something. We'll be back on this Friday, so hope to see you guys then. Hope you all have a great rest of your night tonight, and bye-bye.